Tank Dell going to the mother freaking moon.
To the moon.
In 2024. And this is crazy because this guy literally has had his leg broken. They've shot him in the leg. And he continues to defy all of the doubters and the haters that come for him left and right. Tank Dell, he's the third player on the roster, Smitty. He can't possibly be any good this year. You were right on him for 1 year, Smitty. But it's about time to let your Tank Dell love die, Smitty. It's wild. It's wild. Are we live? I want to make sure we're live. Okay. We're having some technical difficulties in a minute. I couldn't start right away, so I apologize for being late. But we also have a panic chamber moment here. If we're being honest, we're going to go to the panic chamber when it comes to Tank Dell. You might be saying, Smitty, why would we be talking about the panic chamber in regards to Tank Dell? Because the doubters need to be placed in said panic chamber. And I'm shutting the doors. The fantasy football show begins right now.
Live from the fantasyfootballshow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the fantasyfootballshow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Boy, one of probably the biggest predictions on this channel ever was Tank Dell. Because it wasn't like Tank Dell was some highly touted guy. He was literally an obscurity. And people would say things like, oh, Smitty, he's too small, Smitty. He's way too small. He's not going to translate. But we stuck to our guns, and people absolutely won leagues off of the back of Tank Dell. Because he delivered. Even though he got injured, he delivered in ways that you just couldn't imagine. Even I was shocked at how good he really was. And this guy goes out and catches a touchdown right now from C.J. Stroud, and people are going to be all over Tank Dell. But he is a marvel. He is a moon man. And dare I say, it's time to anoint one more Wild Wild West most wanted outlaw. We've got Keon Coleman ready to take fantasy football worlds by storm. And Tank Dell might just be the mother flippin' sheriff. Coleman was there first in terms of being on the most wanted.
The top most wanted outlaw.
But Dell is now in the house, ladies
Wanted.
and gentlemen. League winner. Extraordinaire. Thomas says drafted Tank Dell because of Smitty. I appreciate that. Where is that right here? I'm trying to find Tank Dell. Let's use Tyreek. Where's that Tank Dell quote? Thomas said it. Drafted Tank Dell in Dynasty because of Smitty.
Wanted.
Outlaw. Moon man extraordinaire. For those that don't know what moon men are, let me show you what moon men look like.
The moon men dropping loads in outer space.
Now, we don't have all amazing news. Today, we have more drama in the Brandon Aiyuk front. Now, real quickly on Tank Dell, where are you taking him? Where are you drafting him? I mean, I've been stealing him in round number 4. I don't know about you guys, but round 4 sounds pretty good to me.
Mashed potatoes!
Oh, but what about Nico? What about Nico Collins? Smitty, Nico Collins. Let me tell you something about Nico Collins. I like Nico Collins. Nico Collins is fantastic. Round 2 doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you draft a hamburger in round 2 when you can have a steak dinner or prime rib in round number 4? This whole infatuation with Nico Collins, Tank Dell overtook Nico during the season. They went back and forth, and I'm not saying Nico's not good. If Nico was going on round 4, we'd have 2 gems in round 4. Tank Dell goes in 4, Nico goes in 2. Gee, I wonder which one's better cost of entry wise when I'm telling you that Dell's still the number 1. This is the man that Stroud requested. He went, got drafted, picked up the phone, says, go get me Tank Dell. They said, get it done.
Let him cook.
They said, give me Tank. He said, give me Tank. And Tank they got. Tank he shall have. And I just got to say that while I do think Nico and Dell will have rotational games, 150 yards for Nico because defenses are eyeballing Tank Dell. Where's Tank Dell flying around on the field? Tank's going to have his moments too. They're both going to be glorious. This is not an anti-Nico show. We love Nico. But what I'm trying to tell you, and I don't know that the value is going to last long, this is 1 touchdown, but not everybody watches the preseason. I think it will be influential to ADP. I do think Dell climbs cemented into round number 3 in best ball. I think in non-best ball, it's tough to say because I got Dell in the 5th round in a buddy league, and I don't think that's happening again. Does he climb in non-best ball into round 3? It's certainly possible. Would he be worth taking in round number 3 in any format? Gee.
You've just been Smitty approved.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Just because he's in round 4 doesn't mean he doesn't look really good in round 3. But where we draw the line with really anybody in a crowded wide receiver room like this would be, hey, maybe we don't go after any of these guys in round 2. Does this sound like a plan? I think that's Smitty.
You've just been Smitty.
So Dell wins you leagues in round 4. Dell easily gets your value back in round 3. The question is, and we got 1 super chat here. I'll answer super chats in the order which they're received. Young comes in and says, I will forever be loyal to Smitty for Tank and Achan. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I can get behind that statement. Young, thank you for the super chat and the loyalty and the acknowledgement of the Tank Dell Achan movement. Appreciate you very much. No one's higher on Tank Dell than this channel. No one's higher on Tank Dell than this channel. Nobody. Nobody. Don't even try it. Don't even try it. Nobody's higher on this channel on Devon Achan either. So don't even try. You want to try? Go ahead and try. You're going to fail. Here comes, here's C-Mac. Aiyuk rant inbound. Here we go. So Tank Dell, we've settled that. Tank Dell. Dell, same. Okay. Here we go. Here comes the Aiyuk rant. You know, I was a defender of Debo, and I have been, and in some ways still defend Aiyuk in some of his quest to go get the bag. But Aiyuk has worn through my patience. He's worn him down to a little nub. And Aiyuk is like that guy that wants to break up with his girlfriend. And the moment he breaks up with her and just goes and even grazes just a little bit in the pastures and realizes that the grass isn't even green. There's no green grass, brown grass. There's no grass anywhere. And Aiyuk is like that kid that goes camping and he gets petrified when he's away, homesick, and he wants his binky in his bottle. and he goes running back home. This guy has literally had the entire world at work reporting on him, talking about him, and he has the nerve to say things, and I don't even understand exactly what he's trying to say in this comment, but when this report came out here from Tom Pelissero, and he said the 49ers have made a renewed effort in recent days to strike a long-term deal with Brandon Aiyuk, sources tell me, and Matt Garofalo. The situation is fluid, and other teams, including Pittsburgh, are still in the mix, but a return to San Francisco appears increasingly possible. And then Aiyuk responds here, okay? He's got so much time on his hands because he's sitting there twiddling his thumbs and wasting everybody's time. And I'll get to more of that in a second. That he says, Brad, Niners, be in the media every day, LOL. It's two options out there. Pick one and stop dropping reports, simple. I don't even know what he's saying. Part of me wants to have AI translate this for me because I don't even know what I'm looking at. I had to reach out to C-Mac and Raj and Vlad on our private chat group and say, can you translate this for me? I don't even know what he's trying to say. And I still don't really, to be honest with you, and I'm not embarrassed to admit this, I don't really know what this means. I really don't. What Raj and C-Mac and the boys seem to tell me, based on translation, going through a couple AI scripts and algorithms, that what he's trying to say is, you guys will just write anything. And you're always in here talking. Stop dropping reports and wait. Let me tell you something, Brandon. Okay? You live in social media when you want to. You'll post little cryptic story posts on Instagram where you're driving to Levi's Stadium singing about getting your shiat, I don't know, out of your locker, or that you're going to get your bag or whatever. You'll go to social media, take stuff off your bio, put stuff on your bio, cryptically drop messages of you and my boy JD5 getting me all excited and amped up, thinking that the two best friends that anybody could have are pushing bunk beds together and having a time over in Washington. You're cryptically trying to tell us what you want when you want. But because we do our jobs, and I say we because I consider myself a pretty reputable analyst that might interpret news as much as I do, go live whenever news breaks, you have the nerve to suggest that we shouldn't be talking about you when that's all you want. When you need it, when it serves you well, you'll post something. You've wasted everybody's time, and now you don't want to go over to Cleveland, to New England. New England ready to make him the third highest paid wide receiver in the league. He says, no, give me my binky. I'm homesick. And then the Cleveland Browns and Niners, and I don't know how much of this is 100% true, but the Cleveland Browns and 49ers reportedly came to terms on a deal, and Brandon Aiyuk just didn't sign the contract. And this deal was sending Amari Cooper to the Niners, which would have been a lambasting of a lifetime, just like the Niners put on the entire league, because they are good traders. They're horrible at managing players in the offseason. Absolutely the worst, especially from January to the draft. They're probably the worst organization in the NFL in terms of handling contracts, personnel, decision-making, quarterback decision-making. The worst. But they are one of the very best trading organizations in the National Football League. They're also very good at so many different things. That's what makes the Niners an interesting team to follow, is they absolutely slam home runs after home runs in different parts of this organization's game, okay? And trading is one of them. And the Niners lambasted the entire league when everybody sat and watched them take Christian McCaffrey from the Panthers for a second, a third, and a fourth round pick. And Scott says hating. How am I hating, Scott, when I just literally gave the Niners some of the biggest compliments a team could get? Scott, pay attention. I don't think you're listening. Maybe open up the ears a little bit and listen to what I'm saying, because I just complimented the hell out of the 49ers. You and your hating comment. Your comment's hating is what it is. The Niners about put it on the Browns as if the Browns were their biatch. They almost got Amari Cooper, who honestly is better for the Niners, in my opinion, in a one-year shot, a one-year window of time to go grab a championship. This was going to be good, especially given that Aiyuk has been sitting out. His injury risk is high. He's been sitting out. His mentals and his chickens aren't well prepared right now. There's no way that Aiyuk is better suited to help the Niners win a Super Bowl right now, at least, given the situation, given his time off, given his mental preparedness or lack thereof, than Amari Cooper. The Niners almost lambasted the league again, but Aiyuk pissed all over the trade. Aiyuk pissed all over the New England trade. He pissed all over the Browns trade. He's wasting everybody's time. It's like going to a realtor and having a realtor draw up a contract, go through all the efforts of showing the house to you 10 times, getting it all ironed up. And you walk into the realtor's office and say, I'm out. All that time you wasted on getting me this house, drawing up the contract, showing me everything, I'm going to go ahead and leave. Then the realtor prepares another house, draws up the contract, wastes all the time, drives back and forth, the gas, everything, and then Aiyuk pisses all over the Cleveland situation like he did the New England situation. I can't defend this man anymore. He's wasted everyone's time. And I'd be shocked if the Niners even feel like giving him a contract offer anymore. And who's to say he's even going to sign it? Because he hasn't wanted to sign anything. He thinks he can pick and choose everything. Where I go, what quarterback I get, the exact amount of money I get. He's out of his mind. He's out of his mind. Aiyuk is completely off his rocker. And I don't blame anybody getting pissed off at him. He has rubbed everyone the wrong way. A lot of pissing analogies, definitely. Because there's a lot of pissing going on. There's a lot of diarrhea on the bed on this one. And Aiyuk is absolutely just... And then he has the nerve. This is where... You know what? You want to be a complete, complicated problem like Aiyuk's been? Diarrhea the bed, piss the bed, all that. That's fine. Okay? You can be a difficult person that nobody really is going to be getting along with very well right now. And he's got a lot of preparing to do in San Francisco and a lot of catching up to do. And a lot of injury risk, and we saw Debo have unfortunately, and I don't blame Debo for any of his situation. I was in Debo's camp the whole time. While the Niner fans went at him constantly. Kick rocks, get out of here. Debo, we don't need you. Yeah, now everybody loves Debo. It's crazy. The Niner fan base is so loyal, but you guys can be ruthless to your players. It's completely wild. This one, I don't even know how to defend Aiyuk anymore. He's absolutely pissed his situation away. Now, I don't know if Aiyuk's saying, okay, you're wrong. There's a deal going on. I'm going to Pittsburgh. You'll see. Maybe Pittsburgh steps up this situation. But the thing is, Aiyuk won't sign the contract. Aiyuk, as I reported for months, and no one said a word about it. No one said a word about it. I kept saying it every day. Aiyuk's got more leverage than any of you know. And everyone's like, he doesn't have any leverage. He's got a fifth-year option he can get for it. He has leverage. Being complicated during these kinds of situations is leverage. And if the Steelers came in today and said, we'll give you what you wanted, 49ers, all he has to do is do what he did with New England and do what he did with Cleveland and say, I don't want to sign the contract. I want my binky. And guess what's going to happen? Then the Steelers are going to be like, well, we can't do anything about that. We're not trading for you unless you sign the contract. And then he goes back to San Francisco, where he's going to waste more people's time walking around the practice field with his fake injuries. And I got to tell you something. You know, you got to hold out. Be a man and hold out. Do what CeeDee Lamb's doing, where he's LOLing from the sidelines in the comfort of his own home. But you're going to show up, hold in, and pretend to have a fake injury. You're just walking around the field with your backpack on. I'm losing all respect for Aiyuk right now. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think a Steeler trade's going to happen. I don't think any trade's going to happen because Aiyuk would have to sign the contract. I think he wants to go to Pittsburgh. So if he goes to the table with the Niners right now, and that's reportedly what's potentially happening, he's sitting there having a conversation. This is a report here from really coming from several sources, but this one by Catch the Blitz saying 49ers and Aiyuk have restarted negotiations. So let's say they sit down and they're having a conversation. Everybody drop a binky emoji or a baby bottle emoji. They're having a conversation and they don't come to terms. Aiyuk's like, I want $33 million because he's been ridiculous the whole time. The Niners are like, we'll give you 28. We'll maybe give you 29 potentially if you promise to shut up and never speak again. Put your binky back in your mouth and shut up and play. Maybe we'll give you 29 to make it all go away. Drop a baby bottle. Everybody drop a baby bottle. Okay? Maybe. And Aiyuk goes, yeah, 29's nice, but 33's better. 33 has a nice ring to it, don't you think? The Niners might say, bro, case closed. Negotiations are over. You play on your 5th-year option or you sit out. And then Aiyuk's gonna, what? What's he gonna do? Then all of his leverage goes away. The reason he has leverage, and I've said it from the beginning, he has tons of leverage, is because the Niners want to try and win a Super Bowl. And with the new injury to Ricky Pearsall, may not be a big deal, may be a big deal. We'll see. Keep dropping those binky emojis and baby bottles because this man deserves it. He's been working hard for it. I think that there's a real chance this thing goes in that direction. I think he's probably pretty scared that his opportunities are dwindling and he's starting to see that his situation is not really helping him, and his attitude, his decisions haven't helped him. He's created kind of a mess. He's made a whirlwind of problems for everybody around him. He's starting to feel that the negativity that everybody's angling toward him because he deserves to have that. People are frustrated. They don't want to be around him right now, I'm sure. And so they're probably saying to themselves, like, this is it. Like, we're going to give you a warning here, and I'm not bullshitting you. Like, you take the $28.5 million offer that we're going to throw right in front of your face, or let's say it's 29 if he, like you said, wears the binky constantly. We need to get him a binky mouthpiece. Then we'll go ahead and give you this $29 million offer. If you reject it, you have until the end of the day. We are not negotiating anymore, and you're going to play in your 5th-year option, or you're going to hold out. And they can elect to do whatever they want at that point, and Aiyuk can try and play it out. You're not going to get a big deal, though. His agent or anybody smart would sit down with them and say, look, if you hold out, you don't have the tenure, you don't have the experience or the resume to sit out a season and go get the same amount of money next year. You're not CeeDee Lamb. Lamb could sit out the entire year, walk into 2025 and get $35 million per year with $130 million guaranteed. Aiyuk is going to dwindle in value if he does any sort of BS. And not to mention, he plays on his 5th-year option. If this guy thinks, oh, you know what? I'm deserving of the 33. I want the 33 and I want it now. He starts complaining about it and crying about it. Guess what's going to happen? He goes out there on his 5th-year option, plays for the 17 mil or whatever it is, and gets hurt. He ain't getting half of what he could get right now. If he gets injured, doesn't have a good year, and brings the questions to the table, was he a one-year wonder? He's got nothing but the 1 year to really stand on in terms of the valuation he thinks he's worthy of. Is he worth 30? Honestly, no. Could he be? He might turn into that. I'm not saying he can't become a $30 million a year player on that valuation right now. Like, that will be 32 next year, 31 next year, whatever. I'm not saying that can't grow into, certainly will grow into 30 million. Some of the 15, 16, 17 ranked wide receivers in the NFL in 1 or 2 years will be worth that. That's the way the market is. But like right now, is he worth 30 million a year? I'd say no. Could he be worth 30 million a year play-wise by the end of the year? I think he could earn that, but he has not yet earned $30 million a year. He is not St. Brown. He is not A.J. Brown. He's not Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's not even really Waddle at this point. He's had one really good year, and that's it. You don't get to ask for St. Brown money when you've had one really good year. Not to mention the team that you play for does not see you as usage equivalent to paying St. Brown money. You're getting 80 receptions. You're going to be sharing a very big workload with different players. There are a lot of mouths to feed. They're not trying to pay a St. Brown. And he wants to be St. Brown. It's wild. It's wild. Where does he land? I think he lands back in San Francisco. Does he get a contract? I don't know. I don't know. The Niners are probably getting sick and tired of this guy. And he might play on his 5th-year option. We'll find out. Time will tell. He's very, very vulnerable here, I imagine. I'm not 100% sure, but I imagine he's very vulnerable to just saying, let me get this over with and let me take 28.5 or 29. I like where I'm at. I don't need to be this guy, that guy. My career won't be good here. My career would be better here. Which is, crazy to think that you have the balls to say I'm out of here, but you don't have the balls to accept 3 different landing spots where, yes, maybe they're different teams, but not everybody's San Francisco. Where did you think you were going to go? Washington is where he wanted to go. I think he would have accepted the same contract that the Cleveland Browns were offering, the same contract the New England Patriots were offering for the Commanders. And the Commanders really, I think, dropped the ball here, because I really think Aiyuk was very fitting for JD5 and his development. JD5 will be fine without him, but this was a good move for the Commanders and Adam Peters to make. Adam Peters is super smart, though. Maybe he knew this guy because he helped draft him. He was there in San Francisco. He helped bring him in. Adam Peters is one of the best scouts, NFL scouts in the National Football League, and now he's the GM in Washington, and he had helped select Aiyuk and, Kittle and Brock Purdy. Like, this Adam Peters knows what in the hell Adam Peters to the mother freaking moon. Mashed potatoes. Peters season. Drop an eggplant for Adam Peters, because he is an absolute magician. But Adam Peters is probably maybe smarter than we even think, because maybe he said, I don't want this drama queen infecting my quarterback. That's kind of where I'm maybe at now, to be honest with you. Maybe this was a bad situation. Maybe this would have prevented JD5 from growing in a certain way. I don't know. I trust Adam Peters. Drop an eggplant emoji if you trust Adam Peters. The Commanders are going to the moon. It's funny that a lot of people don't understand how good JD5 is. It's funny to me that people don't get that JD5 is not just a great quarterback. He's going to be a top 5 quarterback. He's going to be better than so many of these other quarterbacks. He's going to be better than Lamar. He's going to be better than everybody but Mahomes. And you could say he'll be right up there with Hurts potentially. But he probably won't be better than Mahomes or Josh Allen, at least not initially. Would I rule it out? No, hell no, I won't. He's a top 1 to 5 quarterback of the future. But am I believing he'll get to that level of 3 to 6? I absolutely 100% do. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that this man right here wasn't going to flirt with top 10 numbers in 2024. Tank Dell season is going to be off the hook cooking.
Let him cook.
There are 2 5s? JD5? AR5? There can't be.
Oh no. They're gonna cross streams.
Got him.
Don't be afraid to cop that Tank Dell merch in the YouTube store, by the way, because that Tank Dell merch is out there. And we got bros tripping on Tank Dell. Imagine, I don't blame this guy, guys. Don't be, he's fine. Imagine not knowing. Somebody gotta tell him. Someone want to tell him how good Tank Dell is? Bro's tripping on Tank Dell. I heard that all last year, bro, in the entire offseason. 1 calendar year from in the past from today, I heard that all the time. Hey, Smitty's too small. You even realize, broski, that Tank was 1 reception away from the Triple Crown? 1 reception away from the Triple Crown. Brandon Aiyuk. Is there any Brandon Aiyuk news? I don't think so. I'm just refreshing X right now just to make sure we don't have anything brewing. We've got Fields to Pickens in the preseason highlights. That was great. That was nice to see. Fields to the moon. Fields is going to take the job. If he doesn't get it by week 1 through... If Fields doesn't get the job in week 1 through, pure force and taking the job out of Russell Wilson's lifeless fingers as he's high-fiving imaginary people in his 5'11" frame, if Fields doesn't walk in 6'3" monster and rip the job from him, I know he's going to take it at some point, and Pickens is going to go to the absolutely freaking moon, Saturn, the sun, Jupiter, Neptune. We might have our first Neptune person. I loved Tank this year. He's coming from a bad injury, which I don't mind much. But look how crowded that room is. You keep thinking. You keep thinking whatever you want, bro. You're in a Tank Dell room right now. You know where you are? Are you lost, young? Young, are you lost? Because take a look around. It's like you walked into a convention of Tank Dell people wearing Tank Dell shirts, and you walked in and go, how about that Tank Dell? Not going to be very good, is he? Just take a look around before you start speaking about it. Because no one's in agreement with. I know you think you're going, Tank, how about that Tank Dell? Here's Young. Here's Young. Hey guys. Thanks for having me out tonight. Appreciate you. How about that Tank Dell? Huh? Kind of overhyped, huh? Like the Tank, I saw a Tank Dell shirt outside and I was like, whoa! We had a Tank Dell convention?
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Go copy some Tank Dell merch over in the YouTube store there, Young. Get yourself a Tank Dell shirt. How about that? Hey guys, how about that Tank Dell? He's kind of small. Am I right? Am I right? Lot of mouths to feed in a 45+ passing touchdown offense. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got really no other news to talk about, so let's open them phone lines, pals.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Brought to you by theattic.shop. Oh, man. Tank Dell's kind of looking like Tank Bigsby, eh? Am I right? Margaret in the back, am I right? Yeah. Read the room. Read the room, pal. Read the room. Super chat's coming in strong. One second here. We got little Smitty here. Okay. Sorry, I had to let the little one in. Okay, super chats, then Travis, hang tight for me real quick. Let me get these super chats out of the way. L dropping the $20 holler. He says, I owe you one. Why do I owe you one, L? Why do I owe you one? But I appreciate you. I appreciate you, my broski. And $20 holler celebration.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20.
Appreciate you, L. L to the mother freaking moon. Handed Hand says not baking in cost of entry Nico or Dell. Dell is perfect in round 4, Handed. I mean, I thought I made that abundantly clear. Dell in round 4, you're winning leagues. Dell in round 3 easily earns that. Dell in 2 would be the same thing as Nico in 2. It's unnecessary. It doesn't package in or bake in any risk. You can like somebody as much as you want to like them, but if their valuation is to the point where it's as much risk as reward, or there's tons of mouths to feed and they're both going in two, it makes it complicated. When Nico and Diggs were both going around two, I said, stay away. Tank Dell was in 3, dropped to 4, Tank Dell to the mother freaking moon. If Tank Dell climbs to 2 for whatever reason, then we'll probably be out at that point, but we'll have so many shares and we'll be absolutely flying high. Jalen Wright is putting on a show versus the Falcons. Jalen Wright is the quickest running back to hit 5 yards in the 40 time at the combine, suggesting, and that metric is so important because it suggests that out of all the running backs in the combine, in the rookie running back pool, he is the quickest runner to hit the hole because his first 10 yards is the fastest out of any running back in the draft class. So that's a very, very, very important stat. And I love that the NFL and the combine now has much better metrics to look at. Mute yourself, Biaggia. I'll be with you in a minute. 49ers, good traders, but Eagles, good traders and contract. The Eagles are perfect, well-rounded all around. This organization is fantastic. What they've been doing this offseason has been running circles around everybody. Locking down their wide receivers, paying them big money, keeping them happy, bringing in Saquon Barkley, bringing in the right OC and DC, remedying what happened last year. You have Kellen Moore is going to turn this offense into a monster scoring machine. And A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, probably both of them, but one of them is going to be a top 5 player at the position because that's what he does. He did it with Lamb. He did it with Keenan Allen. Even last year with all the mess in LAC, Keenan Allen was still a top 4 wide receiver in Kellen Moore's system. So whoever's a slot wide receiver in Philly is going to be a top 5 guy. I imagine it'll be A.J. Brown. He might rotate it a little bit, but Devontae Smith has a chance to be a top 10 wide receiver if he's used properly, and A.J. Brown's just so good, I can't imagine him not being. Deckard is the man, says Young, dropping a $2 hauler. Rock out, appreciate you. Smitty, check your DM. I will in just a bit. I appreciate you. Rock out, remind me. Couple of questions. Rank neighbors, DK, Devontae Smith, Cup, Pittman, Dell. I will probably say in redraft, I'm going to go with Cup. I'm going to go with DK and Devontae Smith being kind of tied, and Neighbors after that. Neighbors has nice upside. Oh, Dell. Let's see. I'm going to go Cup, Dell, DK Smith tied, and then we'll go Neighbors and then Pittman. And then rank Christian Kirk, Rasheed Rice, Coleman, Adunze, Terry, Reed, Godwin, Allen in the fourth AR5. God, you're fitting everything in here, Bryce. This is a loaded question here. AR5 in the 7th. Love AR5 in the 7th. Allen in the 4th. You're getting a smash in both those cases. I'd probably say Allen in the 4th is a little bit better just because he's potentially the number 1 overall player. As far as these wide receivers, I would say Coleman, and then I would go probably Coleman, Rasheed Rice, assuming he doesn't get suspended. Scary Terry and Reed and Adunze all kind of tied in redraft. It's a lengthy question, Bryce. I think I got it all, but appreciate you. Handed Dynasty, I have Nico and could get Dell straight up. I think that the ADP suggests you can get more. Do I want Dell over Nico in a vacuum? Yes, but do you deserve to get it's literally like a round and a half apart, bro. So you can't trade them straight up. You need to ask for more. That's just the nature of value and cost of entry. Travis, you're live. What can I do for you?
If someone else on the line, you can go to them first.
Matt Biaggia, what do you have to complain about today?
I'm not complaining. I just my question is for Patrick Mahomes is going around there. Are you good with trying to take Dell in the 3rd and then grabbing Mahomes, or if you're choosing between both, or you just kind of mix and match it for underdog?
It's the same thing. Like let's say if you were going to grab both of them, I mean, in non-best ball, Dell falls to 4 and Mahomes goes in 3. In best ball, Dell goes in 3, Mahomes falls to 4. So it really is a beautiful setup. They're outstanding players to grab together. You can still get a Worthy and a Rasheed Rice later if you wanted in best ball. There's tons of ways to but absolutely love both of them, bro. If you can get Mahomes and Dell, you're flying high. Doesn't matter how you do it. Third round's fine for either. Fourth round's fine for either. Use the format, best ball, non-best ball, to get it done and know what room you're in when you're doing it. If you try and draft Mahomes in 3 and Dell in 4 in best ball, you might not pull it off. So you got to do it properly in the right format. The formats are wild. This is the first year where I literally have to speak about content like they're alien to each other. Best ball, non-best ball. And it's all because of these absolutely almost out of their mind wide receiver drafters in best ball that are just creating a bigger and bigger problem every day when they chase wide receiver to the tune of pulling third round players into round 2, fourth round players they're pulling into the top of 3. We're seeing players get drafted way too high. Nico has no business in round 2 in best ball. He doesn't always go in round 2 in non-best ball. He'll go in 3 sometimes, and Dell will go in 4. But Dell's still the better value in 4 than Nico is at the top of 3. But neither one deserved to be in 2, so it's not a knock on Dell or Nico. It's just a reality. Like, Nico doesn't deserve to be in round 2. You draft Nico Collins as your second drafted player, and I look at your team after the fact and I say, who was your second round pick? It looks like you got a first rounder. You took Bijan. Great job. I love that. And then I look at your team and I'm like, who's your second round player? I have no idea. When I can't tell which round your players went in, there's a problem. That means you drafted like a bozo. Here's Ron Navy in the building. Ron, we're getting, it's so funny because Ron put his balls on the table, and everybody give Ron a standing ovation. Drop an eggplant emoji. In fact, drop the Ron anchor emoji that's in the YouTube exclusive emojis group for Ron. Ron still could win this bet, but Ron came in the other night when the Steelers were not in the lead dog position. They were like being whispered about coming back into the Brandon Aiyuk sweepstakes. It had been narrowed down to the Patriots and the Browns, and Ron calls in and goes, "I'll super chat $1,000 if Aiyuk isn't a Commander or a Pittsburgh Steeler." And the Commanders were out, and they've been out ever since. And the Steelers were not yet quite fully back in. There were just whispers about them. And then it shifted, and then all of a sudden the Steelers were the lead dog team, and it looked like Ron was going to smash this, and it's still an amazing bet and challenge. And Ron's the only one that's bet $1,000 with himself on this channel before. He literally challenged himself to $1,000 bet on the channel by himself. Who else does that? But now we are shifting, unfortunately, for Ron's situation, and I'm sure he's fine with it. It's now looking like, and this could change too, it's looking like the Niners are going to be his next home or his continuation, his continued stay. If the Niners even want him. I don't know who. Nobody probably wants this guy at this point. What a mess. What a disaster. Can I get all the hours back? Can you all get the hours back that you spent in here kicking around ideas, worthless ideas, when this guy didn't want to go anywhere? He just wasted everyone's time. But Ron Navy, appreciate you.
Probably a full day.
Yeah,
full day's worth.
24, at least 24 hours of all of our lives. Just absolute
Maybe
crazy.
We gotta tell Aiyuk he's got to compensate you when he gets paid.
Yeah, you can at least do an interview so we can
Right.
ask him about it. PPR 12 team, pick 1 London. Pick round 5 Pickens, round 6 Flowers, round 8 Kincaid, round 9 Love. Let's see, pick 1. London 5. Sorry, London 5, Pickens 6, Flowers 8, Kincaid 9, Jordan Love 11. I got you. Okay, I'd probably say London 5 is pretty damn good. Kincaid in 9 is excellent. And if it's a 1 QB, I'm not interested in Jordan Love, even though that's great value. You're going to be fine at quarterback. If that's 2 QB, obviously you'd take Jordan Love, but this can't be 2 QB, or you wouldn't even ask the question because Love would be the answer. I would say, look, London's good enough value in round 5 that these other ones are great value, sure. But at some point, you got to start asking yourself, like, are you just going to continue to try and look for the best value, or are you going to take the best player? And the best player in this situation to me is London. London is going in round 2. I think 5 is a fantastic valuation. I think Kincaid would be good. If it was tight end premium or anything, I would probably lean on the Kincaid side for sure. But I think I'd take London. Pickens is great in 6, but I just take London in 5. I think that's the right move. Tony, appreciate you dropping the super chat. Let's see, Biagio, what did you have any final things on that, Biagio? That
No, my other question is, like, it just makes sense for Aiyuk to go to Pittsburgh. And if I was the Steelers, I would want him. I just want to know what is a fair offer, because they don't want draft picks. They got to throw a player or maybe a different position, and maybe Ron Navy would.
Bro, it's easy. No. Thanks for that disparaging, underhanded comment. Maybe Ron Navy would be better to talk about. Like, what the? Biagio, nope.
Finish him.
What do you mean?
Call terminated.
What a dumb thing to say. Okay. Anyway, Ron's a great person to talk about it. But don't call into a show and tell the host, maybe this isn't the right person. Maybe I'm talking to the wrong guy. What the hell's wrong with you? I would say that it's not a difficult decision. We've already heard what the framework of the trade is. The framework of the trade is a second rounder. I'm sure they're negotiating a 4th and a 3rd. I'm sure it started off as a 6th rounder. I'm sure it started off just as a 2nd. But they probably want a little bit more than the 2nd. But a 2nd and Calvin Austin would do at this point. The problem is this guy accepting an offer. That's the problem, Biagio. Is nothing to do with it being difficult. There's 3 deals essentially in place. The Browns deal was in place. The Patriot deal was in place. I imagine the Steelers deal, with everything going on in the tight window of that we're working with to get this thing going, the ball rolling, games are going on. Like, they need to get it done. A 2nd rounder and Calvin Austin will probably get it done. It's more about, will this man accept an offer from anybody, even the Niners? I don't know what world he thinks he's living in. He's living in Biagio's world. Go ahead,
so
Travis.
The Steelers were willing to give up the wide receiver? I kept hearing, like, that San Fran wants a wide receiver back, almost like that was holding something up. But maybe I understood it wrong.
I think that, Van Jefferson they're probably begging the Niners to take Van Jefferson, like, get him off our roster.
Yeah.
But he's definitely doable. There's no way that's hanging it up. Calvin Austin probably isn't hanging it up either. I think it's more about, if it's Calvin Austin, maybe they don't want to give a 4th rounder as well, or a 3rd rounder on top of it. But I don't think the Steelers deal it's not. I think there's a lot of this is about Aiyuk. I don't think it's really about the teams. Maybe we hear something later, but we also are hearing things now about how the Cleveland deal was already done and accepted by the Niners, and that's coming out like we kind of had heard that maybe that could have been somewhat the case, but we're hearing that it was the case now. So I would take it with a grain of salt when you hear somebody says the Steelers might be struggling with this or the Steelers. We don't know what's truly gone down. Yeah. We might hear a day from now that the Steeler deal was accepted. So I take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I was just, in my mind, it's like, and this would have included the Patriots as well. Even if they wanted, a Jalen Pope or a Roman Wilson or something like that, if you're getting an Aiyuk, you still give it up if that's what's holding up the deal. So you're probably right that isn't the fact. But I was just curious because it seemed like that kept being spit out. You never know what side it's coming from or whatever. So.
Yeah. And I agree with what Joshua was saying here in the chat. Aiyuk wanted to go to Washington. I mean, that's what it really all stems from. That's clear and evident. Everyone knows that because he was hanging out with Jaden Daniels. He literally was like willing this thing to happen. Part of me's frustrated with the Washington Commanders not making this happen when it's been like set up on a silver platter, because Aiyuk is pissing on every other offer to the point where all the Commanders got to do is come in and give, what everybody else is giving. But it seems to me that Adam Peters doesn't want this drama around JD5 is what my guess is. And to be honest with you, I trust Adam Peters enough that if he feels like Aiyuk is going to I don't know. I'm not saying Aiyuk's a bad influence. He's not like he's a bad guy, I'm sure. But this is drama. This is a big freaking mess, man. And I think Adam Peters is probably like, I like the cohesiveness of our team. I love Scary Terry. And Niner fans won't be able to hear this. This is going to be really difficult for a Niner fan to hear. It really is, because I've said it before, and they absolutely lose their shit. But they can't see straight. They think Brock Purdy's going to be better than JD5 and AR5, and they think our AR5 is a piece of garbage. Like, they have no clue.
They think he's better than Josh Allen right now.
Yeah, they think Purdy's better than Josh Allen. They think he's better than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, they're like, whoa, did he just say... Like, they sit back in their chair. Then they go, did he just compare Brock Purdy to Jalen Hurts? They have no clue. But Niner fans need to pay attention to what I'm about to say, because this is just a harsh reality. Terry McLaurin. I wouldn't give Terry McLaurin for Brandon Aiyuk. Number one, because you got to pay Aiyuk. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not just easy to break it down from a one-year perspective. But Terry McLaurin has been what DJ Moore has been for so many years. Dormant, sleeping, waiting, unable to really ever capitalize on his talent. You put Brandon Aiyuk in the situations that Terry McLaurin's been in, you have no idea what you'd be seeing out of Brandon Aiyuk. You put Terry McLaurin in San Francisco last year, you have a top 5 to 6 wide receiver. I really don't think people understand how good Terry McLaurin is, and the metrics will tell you the same thing. He's always been super high on any metric you look at in terms of wide receiver, route runs, conversions, different things. Scary Terry's to the moon. And for the first time, we're going to see Scary Terry have an elite quarterback. And it's going to be glorious to watch, because no one knows how good he is. And it's hilarious to me that Niner fans think you can ask for Scary Terry in return with second rounders, when if I'm Adam Peters, I don't trade Scary Terry for Aiyuk straight up. So everyone needs to calm down about Scary Terry's an elite player. Yeah, and Jahan Dotson to the moon. I think Adam Peters is saying, why do we need Aiyuk? Why do we need him? We've got Scary Terry. We got Jahan Dotson. This is a very underrated wide receiver room that everybody's crapping on because it failed last year. So everyone thinks it's bad. It's not bad. There was no quarterback. Now there is. You got Ben Sinnott, who's the next up-and-coming, maybe potentially top 5, 6, 7 tight end in the National Football League. Might take him a year, but he's got that capability. A lot of people compare him to George Kittle. And why is that, do you think? Why do you think Ben Sinnott is likened to the next George Kittle? Because Adam Peters drafted both. Do you understand what's going on in Washington? Washington, the decision-making, a lot of the scouting in San Francisco the last handful of years or decade is now in Washington, and you're seeing similar things being done. Look at Luke McCaffrey, very, very slash-esque type of running back / wide receiver. Why do you think he's in Washington? Ben Sinnott, next Kittle. Why do you think he looks like Kittle, plays like Kittle, looks like a baby Kittle? Because Adam Peters found both of them. So if anybody thinks that McLaurin isn't better than Brandon Aiyuk right now, not saying that 2 years from now when McLaurin drops off and Aiyuk gets better, that it won't be a different story. But right here and right now, McLaurin is better than Brandon Aiyuk. And that's going to be very painful for people to hear. It just is. And they're not gonna hear it right. They're especially not gonna hear it right a month from now. Right now, it doesn't sound crazy because you're mad at Aiyuk. You're mad at Aiyuk, but yeah. So anyway, let's go over to Bruce real quick, and then over to Ray from California. Bruce, what's up, my guy?
Hey, Smitty.
What's up, pal?
What's with Addison being suspended for 3 games? How far do you think he's going to drop down now? And is he a good value?
Yeah, I didn't put that up on screen yet. Thank you for reminding me on that. I got caught up in this other stuff. Fields is throwing some good stuff. Look at this throw. Look at this run. Is that Najee Harris? God, Fields is looking sharp. Fields is looking sharp. His ability to understand what to do when that pocket's collapsing, I think, is very underrated. I think everybody wants to say this guy can't read a defense. He's been without weapons for how long now? He barely got DJ Moore, and what did DJ Moore turn into? A top 5 to 7 player. Let me go ahead and try and pull up this Addison news because I didn't get a chance to pull it up. But what was your question? Does Addison? Where do I rank Addison? Is that what you're asking?
No, like what round you think he fall? Where would he fall to, and is he worth it? Like value-wise, where he would go?
I'll be honest, man. I don't know. It's a complicated situation over in Minnesota anyway, and it's hard for me to envision him being remotely close to the same player without that aerial attack. But I think it's got to drop him into. I mean, I take Coleman over him. I take Terry McLaurin over him. I take, obviously Worthy and Rashee Rice. So you're talking like what? Like round 10? Round 9, 10, 11? I don't know. I'd have to see. I'd really have to look at it. All those running backs, too. Like
it's going to be really hard to score 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, Zamir White, Chase.
10 touchdowns last year.
Chase Brown, even the top cuff backups like Corum and Trey Benson, like all those guys going around 8, 9. I'd have to say like near double-digit rounds, and even then, I'd have to just be on the clock, case by case, to really know. But you're missing time. No, thank you. No, thank you. Carlos says Terry is 29 and Aiyuk just turned 26. I get that, bro, and that's why I prefaced that. 2 years from now, how are we gonna feel about this? Sure, Aiyuk could become better than Scary Terry because Scary Terry's gonna drop off. But we're talking about right now, the window of time right now, having to pay this man Aiyuk all of this money that he hasn't really earned yet. He should be capable of being a $30 million a year player, but he's not there yet. He doesn't deserve to be paid that way because you think he's going to be one. That's the problem. But right now, Scary Terry is better than Brandon Aiyuk. Right now. Not talking about 3 years from now. Right now. And Adam Peters is saying, let's build right now. And let's not tie up all this money. We can do other things to shore up the line. JD5, everything's running through JD5 anyway. Jahan Dotson's going to become a star in that offense. Ben Sinnott's going to become a star. You're going to be able to maybe bring McCaffrey into a nice role when Terry does decline. There's no need for any of that. Let's build the offensive lineup. Let's better the defense. Let's use all this 30 million plus a year on some of that. That's what Adam Peters is thinking. And I believe it to be true.
He went to the Browns.
No.
NBC reports Browns and 49ers agree to send Brandon Aiyuk to
hold on. Let me.
Amari Cooper. Yep.
Let me see. If so, let me just confirm real quick.
Go for it.
Are you sure you're not seeing what a lot of people are posting?
Sleeper.
Saying? Okay.
I don't know. I came through Sleeper and the chat saying it too. So.
Someone says, Ron, get your wallet ready.
Check for...
All right, hold on.
Make sure there's another source or two. But
yeah, I'm just making sure. The 49ers reportedly were ready to send wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk to the Browns for Amari Cooper, a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick, but Aiyuk put it the kibosh on the deal. Are you sure you guys aren't reading that? I'm refreshing right now. A lot of people have been posting this.
Yeah, yeah, that could be it then. Yep, you might be right.
Everyone needs to calm down a little bit.
Sleeper put out a misleading.
Yeah, I think you guys are seeing the rejected deal. I think everybody's
the notification. You have to open the notification to see it.
Yeah. So what everybody's cycling around right now is that the deal was agreed upon, but if you read everybody's caption, it says but Aiyuk rejected it. It's like clickbait. People are trying to use it as clickbait. Aiyuk said no to the deal, so that's what that was.
My bad on that.
Yeah, that's right.
But I think that's what everyone else saw too.
Yeah,
the sleeper report there.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people reporting that right now, and they're putting it in a way that people are like going to click on it, and then they read it saying, "But Aiyuk rejected it." Yeah. All right.
That just goes right back to what you were talking about with these Mickey Mouse things.
Yeah. All right, hang tight. Ray G. Well, Ron's still getting out the checkbook, though, if he returns to San Francisco. So either way. Ray G, you're live.
Yo, what up?
What's up?
Yeah, you're right about Scary Terry being better than Aiyuk. I mean, people say it's about the quarterback. The quarterback makes the player, but Scary Terry's without a quarterback, and you see he's still dominant, you know?
Yeah, people are wild. It's like I said, it's goggle time. You're wearing goggles, and you have somebody wanting to root for their player, like Brock Purdy better than Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen. Like, that's wild. That's just absolutely ridiculous. I do like Brock Purdy a lot. He's very much in the top 10, QB conversation, but he's not in the top 5. There's just no way. And for somebody to, like, you could talk to a Niner fan and say, I'd rather have JD5 than Brock Purdy, and they would be dumbfounded. They wouldn't, because a lot of people don't, especially if you're not like fantasy geared, you're more NFL, you're fan base geared. You're looking at what is in front of you, and Brock Purdy just played a very good year. JD5 hasn't taken a regular season snap yet, and that kind of thinking makes me laugh, because when someone says, how can you say that about JD5 when he hasn't taken a snap yet? And it's like, well, that's why I'm here. Like, it's why I have a prediction show. That's my job, is to predict what a player is going to be before they do it. Am I going to hit it every time? No. But if I don't predict what's going to happen before it happens, what good am I? What good's my show? So, of course, we're going to have people come in, just like when I said that Tank Dell would be what Tank Dell became. It got a lot of flack because he hadn't done it yet. No one had done it before at his size. He's too small. And so it's natural. You're going to have a bunch of haters. So that's,
Yeah, everybody needs to listen to Smitty, because Smitty's been doing this for 20 years.
Attaboy.
And, people got to listen to you on that, because JD5 is your guy. So we don't really know about him, but you do. And with Tank Dell, I watched the game today, so I'm watching Stephon Diggs, and I'm like, ooh, Stephon's like on his back, So if you're drafting, I would draft Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs if you can, you know what I mean? Because Stephon's probably waiting for his downfall, But Tank Dell's the man right now.
Well, Diggs is going to cost you too much. I wouldn't say get them both. I'd say draft Dell and use especially if you're in a best ball format. Dell goes in 3, right? You take him in 3, 4, and then Mahomes goes 4 or whatever. But in a non-best ball, Dell's falling to round 4, especially in like a 10-man league. He maybe falls to 5, and Diggs is going to go earlier probably. And I'd just say go grab a different player. Don't need to grab both of them. And stacking isn't my favorite in non-best ball anyway. So Diggs is older.
So I'm going to do it.
You're going to do it? Well, hey,
I'm going to give it. Just on one draft, but just waste a little money on it,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, man.
Ray, is this Ray G?
This is Ray.
Okay.
From Long Beach. I called you a while ago.
He's like, no, I'm not. I didn't mean that to sound like you're, we're not as excited to talk to just Ray. But I just want to see if you were Ray G, because Ray G.
I don't care about you. I don't care about that.
Ray from Cali. Ray from Cali, bro. I guess congrats if you keep Aiyuk. I don't know. I don't even know if you want him at this point.
No. Aiyuk should have took that Browns deal. You know?
That's ridiculous.
But he tried to cheat the system, and it's backfiring on him. You know, people are forgetting that this is a corporation. This is a corporation. You know, it's kind of like Chris Paul when he wanted to go to the Lakers. They're like blackballing him right now.
Yeah.
So,
all right, bro.
He needs to take a deal. You know.
Appreciate you. Later.
All right, man.
Sebastian, and then over to Justin.
Y'all don't know how excited I just got right now when y'all were talking about Amari Cooper potentially being in San Francisco.
I was trying to calm everybody real quick because it's not Travis's fault because there's a lot of clickbait, but I already saw that clickbait, 10 times over. So I was like, well, wait a minute. Are you sure? Are you sure you're looking at the right thing? Because
I'll take a lap on it.
It
was a crappy notification, but I'll take the lap.
All right, we sang on a baby one. But yeah, no, it had been kicked around like that. People are trying to get people to click on it, and it says that a deal was accepted. And technically speaking, it was. The Niners accepted. That's what I was saying earlier, Travis, when we were talking about the Steelers situation. Like, are you sure they're not pushing back because of wide receiver? Right. And I was saying no, because the Niners accepted the Browns deal, and that had come out already, and we didn't know that information. So we might find out that the Steelers also accepted, and the Niners accepted a deal.
Yeah, I just never seen Sleeper do something like that. So that's why I
no worries, Travis. I was just hella excited.
Yeah,
I have
it's
like
fine.
20% Cooper right now.
Yeah, I was just trying to dial back everybody real quick because I think I was pretty sure I knew what you guys were getting misled on. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if something happened, because the Niners are going to get frustrated with him if he's not accepting. Just because Aiyuk decided to come home, the Niners aren't going to get soft on it and go, okay, let's give him 30. Like, the reason Aiyuk left is because he wanted more money, and they wouldn't give it to him. He went elsewhere, got that money, and said, no, I don't like the situation. And so he comes back, and what does he think he's going to get? More money? They already said no. And I think what his agent might be telling him, and yeah, I'm starting to question his agent. His agent and John Lynch are like best friends. But whoever's background noise, I think you're driving. If you can mute, it's really, really loud. If you go and test the market and prove to the Niners that he's worth 32, 31, 30, you do have some sort of like case to be made to come back and squeeze out a little more and say, look, we went and tested the market. Clearly, you guys are trying to underpay me, like pay me more. I get it, but we already know the Niners are going to be stingy about this, and you're turning down legitimate, solid situations. Like New England, I get it. You don't want to go there. You don't know who's throwing you the ball. I can understand it. I think maybe there's more to be said about that situation than meets the eye. We'll find out maybe, especially with Milton looking good and whatever. But Cleveland, I didn't love that situation, but that is probably the best you're going to get. It's a wide open wide receiver room. Some people believe in Deshaun Watson. I don't. Other people do. It's a great team, great defense. They're a playoff caliber team, clearly. And you don't accept that situation where you're going to be the number one wide receiver. You can't have it all. You can't stay in San Francisco and get paid like you are in Cleveland, where they need you more. New England needs you more than the Niners need you, so they're going to pay you more. Aiyuk is just off his rocker. He doesn't know what he's doing. Hassan says, what's up, fantasy enthusiasts? And Aiyuk will resign. I mean, we're waiting for it. It's tough to know. Hazelnut, we know, bro. We've been talking about it all day for the last hour and whatever. Hazelnut says that he's negotiating with the Niners. We know that. I thank you, but we know that. That boy dropping a $5 hauler. 10-man, 2 QB mandatory, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, double flex. QBs go around 3. What is the positional value with this format? Also, thanks, Travis, for the help. Chase Brown, 10-man league, 2 QB. QB's going around 3. I don't think your league understands what a Superflex is, which is good for you. But I'd probably take my QB early in 2 and then grab that 1 and 3 that they allow. And the thing about that, if you want to know my honest assessment here, is that if you go non-QB in round 1 because your league doesn't know what it's doing, and you take your Bijan or whatever, and then you get into 2 and everybody's starting to think about quarterback, maybe 1 or 2 people start an early run, you grab the quarterback. Then when you get in round 3, maybe 1 or 2 non-quarterbacks will even go between your second round pick and your third round pick. So you'll be driving against traffic. You'll already have your 2 QBs from round 2 and 3. And so in round 3, you'll be able to, round 4, you'll be able to get your highly ranked non-quarterback position player while everybody's scooping up all the QBs. So you'll have the most value in that angle, in my opinion. So non-quarterback round 1, then QB, and then you're done and everybody's consuming QB that next round. That would be my advice, that boy. It sounds like you could crush this league because they don't know what in the hell they're doing, no offense. Giovanna, appreciate you. Smitty, it's the Bay Area Thomas again with the 11th pick. Still on the running back train, absolutely. If best player available allows it, bro. I've seen Travis Etienne go as high as 15, too high. You're not missing anything. You seem to be drafting on, what is it, Yahoo or CBS, or one of those has Etienne at like the top of round 2. The rest of them have him at the 2-3 turn or in the 3rd round. So let somebody else take Etienne in the top 12 or 13 or 14, bro. Take Kyron, take Achane, take take one of those guys with Gibbs, one of those guys with Breece Hall. I wouldn't even be afraid to go Kyron and Achane at the 11 and 14 pick. 100%. Devon, appreciate you dropping the super chat. And then that boy, appreciate you with your 2 QB question. And I think you're going to crush your league with that strategy. All right, Sebastian, anything else real quickly before I go to Justin and then to Bruce?
Yeah, 2 quick things. One, can we take anything away from the Texans' backfield today for that RB2 spot yet, or no?
I don't know. It's tough to say. Like even Gray from the New York Giants, like as much as I want to like just be like, this guy looks like a sleeper, it's so hard to know. He may never, ever look good again or do anything again, and it's hard to really assess these situations. But let me pull up the game and just kind of take a gander at some of these performances.
And then I just wanted to bring something else up real quick that I saw that you're going to be absolutely disgusted by. Madden came out with their ultimate team ratings, and they had Breece Hall at 79 speed and like 57 catching.
Wow. I wonder who thought that was a good idea. Yeah, I don't see anything, bro. I mean, especially looking at like the Texans like game logs and stuff like that. I mean, Dameon Pierce is still going to be utilized until he fails. I mean, it's got to be.
I think he's a good bounce guy.
It's got to be Pierce. I don't see anything here in this, because I didn't watch the entire game. It was I went live. So, I don't see anything that pops out, bro. I mean, Cam Akers is an interesting player, but I don't think he grabbed the 2 spot yet. He could, but could he grab the 3 spot? He certainly could, but he's not going to stay healthy. Cam Akers is not somebody I'm even interested in, but I think definitely Pierce will get a crack at it. Now, he could lose it real quially. Cam may grab the...
It's worries me.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm thinking that they're running Cam out there because they're about to cut him. I think they are about to cut Cam Akers.
He's definitely trying to make the team. He's not a lock. Pierce is more of a lock. But it wouldn't surprise me. Sometimes there's that weird random, like, oh my God, like move like that. So it wouldn't shock me. But I think Mixon's, he's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for him to stay healthy. But we'll see. He'll probably be pretty good per start, I imagine, just based off pure volume, but definitely not like interested. This is a throwing team. I don't know that I want to play the game of trying to find out who's going to replace Mixon when he gets hurt. I'd rather just go grab myself a different player, but that's me. All right, hang tight.
I appreciate you.
All right, later, bro. Justin, you're live, and then Bruce.
So I got a hot take, a take that not many people in here are going to like, right? What if I told you that with the last pick, 216, you could have a quarterback that has a good offensive line, the best wide receiver in the league, a good number 2 wide receiver, and is going to start week 1. The last pick, 216.
Don't say J.J. McCarthy.
It's not J.J. McCarthy. It's Sam Darnold. Now, people are going to hear that name, and they're going to be like, why would you ever want Sam Darnold? Why? Why? I would say, at one point we said, well, why the hell would you ever want Geno Smith? You know? At one point we said, why would you ever want Baker Mayfield? But it's the last pick. He goes 214, so he might go undrafted. It's the last pick. I'm not telling people you got to love it. I'm not telling people you got to believe in it. I'm just saying the last pick. Appreciate y'all. I'll leave you guys with that.
We'll ponder it all night. Justin, appreciate you. How he escaped getting hung up on.
He's in sales for a living.
No, I don't think he's in sales because he didn't sell me on anything. It didn't sway me at all.
That's true.
So some of the Justin, I appreciate you, but some of the logic there was like, hey, like other players have been great when people doubted him. Like that has nothing to do with it. I mean, every once in a while, lightning strikes. Am I right? Lightning strike once in a while. Am I right? Let's go, Sam Darnold. No. Anyway, first of all, I can guarantee you that McCarthy's starting games at some point, so that throws it out the window. Give me Penix Jr. I thought he was going to come in and say, Smitty, I got a bold take. Let me tell everybody. Listen up. I'm going to suggest something that no one's ever heard of before. Justin Fields. Penix Jr. Things Smitty hasn't been preaching about all year long. I thought he was going to... Every once in a while, someone comes in here and they try and tell me something that we talk about all the time. They're like, I'm just going to say it. I kind of like Fields right now. And we're like, come on, bro. Bueno dropping a $50 hauler on the live stream here. I think this might be a 12-person Superflex full PPR. Thank you. Appreciate you, Bueno, for dropping the wad, my guy. Really, really appreciate you. Strong droppage on the show, bro. And he says 12-person Superflex full PPR. Lamb at 2.1 or Nico at the 11.12. So you got to look at this before everybody just answers right away. You have to look at what this means. This sounds like a one-person keeper league. Am I right, Bueno? It's a one-person keeper league. Therefore, you got to look at if you don't take at this 1 point or this 2.1, if you don't, and I assume he has the 1.12, but almost irrelevant if we just focus on this. If you keep Nico, who is this player right here? And in a one-person keeper league where probably, I would say 8 out of 10 or 8 out of 12 or at least 8 out of 12, but maybe 9 out of 12 of the players kept are going above this pick in a natural draft. Meaning you're probably looking at the 2.1. You probably are looking at, I imagine, somewhere along the lines of like a player that would fall to like 18 overall or something. Because of the players kept, and then you draft, 8 players ripped from the player pool, then you draft down to the 2.1. It's essentially like you're picking like 15, 16, 17, 18. So if you told me you could get Kyron or Achan or Debo with Nico, then you have something that is very, very much better than just CeeDee Lamb, who's holding out and has now maybe some injury risk. But if this isn't a Kyron, if for any reason I have this wrong and we're talking about a player like, I don't know, like Mixon as an example, because we're just talking about him, I want Lamb over Nico and Mixon. But if you're giving me Achane and Nico, you're giving me even somebody like Debo and Nico, or even just say Mahomes, and Nico. Mahomes and Nico crush just Lamb. So it's hard for me to say don't take Lamb at 2.1, but it is what it is. And the $50 hauler, appreciate you.
Give me $50 holler. Smitty, give me $50.
What's Travis or Bruce? Let's go to Bruce. Bruce, what do you think of that? Would you rather have Nico and Kyron, or Nico and Achane, or Nico and Mahomes, or would you rather have CeeDee Lamb written into that 2.1?
That's a tough one, but I might take CD because you won't be able to get him back.
Well, yeah, but again, comparing Mahomes and Nico versus
Dynasty?
just Lamb. Well, it's keeper. It's a keeper league. So I'd probably say if you're getting Kyron, Achane, or like I said, I think you're going to get one of the quarterbacks if you wanted to go heavy there. I think it's better. I love Lamb. I love Lamb.
But Nico can probably give you at the worst 70% of Lamb.
Yeah, and then you get that extra player. It's just it's hard to pass that up.
Yeah.
The value is just crazy.
Probably
Bruce, what else you got, pal? Thank you, Bueno.
I messaged you this earlier, but Penix Jr.'s favorite target was Rondell Moore. They said. Now Rondell Moore's hurt for the year on a pass from Penix, or something they were saying. Now what happens if Penix goes in and his favorite target is not there?
I mean, I'm not worried about that. I mean, it's his favorite target because he's the backup wide receiver playing with the backup quarterback. Bruce, you're overthinking this.
Right.
It doesn't. There's nothing there.
Well, they said when when they were doing first team reps, Moore was always the slot guy. So it's kind of like, wait a minute. Then I really got kind of worried about it. Like if he really had that connection.
No, you're way overthinking this, Bruce. It's like, I mean, Rondell Moore's not even like that great of a player. You're talking about Pitts and London and Bijan. Like he wouldn't, even if he went in the lineup, Rondell Moore's barely playing. Like I wouldn't worry about it. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't worry. You're way overthinking this. I mean, give Penix Jr. some credit. Like he's gonna know how to find those other guys. You know what I mean? Like it might be his best friend, but Rock Out real quickly. Let me hit Rock Out's message. He sent this a while ago. Rock Out.
The Dell, we going to the deli really for real, and this is how we coming on my frill for ill, and we be going taking over Tank Dell Cohen taking over lined up scoring touchdowns spitting rounds. This is how we going party now. This is how we got it going. Spit it live certified King Dell. We're going killing now.
Is that Harry Mack or is that Rock Out? I'm not sure if Harry Mack just DM'd me. Hold on, let me put this caller on hold real quick. 602 caller, what's your name? 602 and where? Okay, he left. Whatever. Ray G calling in. Ray G, appreciate you. Okay, Bruce, what else you got, Bruce? Hang tight, Ray G. Bruce, what else you got, Brucey? All right. Good talk, Bruce. Hang tight, Bruce. He might have actually just hung up. Okay, Skyward just dropped a $10 hauler. $10 haulers get
to the moon.
Moonshots. Appreciate you, Skyward. Skyward says, "What's good, Smitty? Got my squad of Tua, Bijan, Kyron, London, Neighbors, Pitts, Pittman, Dell, benches, Brooks, Corum, Connor, Worthy, Brian Thomas, Stotts. Yeah, really good team. 10 team, 0.5, 2 flex options. Great team. Tua's not a bad quarterback. I don't mind Tua in fantasy. I think he can have those big, huge games. Do I try and upgrade Tua if I can, where I can? Sure. Like, do I use Pittman? Honestly, like, you got great wide receivers. I think you could find use of Worthy, Brian Thomas Jr., like those guys, like would I trade Pittman and Tua to upgrade Tua slightly? Sure. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not touching the RBs. I love Bijan and Kyren. You might have running back 1, running back number 2 in fantasy. You got London. You've got Neighbors is fantastic. Dell's fantastic. I get rid of Neighbors or Pittman in redraft. I'm assuming this is redraft. I don't see anything otherwise. If it's not, then I wouldn't trade Neighbors. But if it's redraft, I'd trade Neighbors or Pittman with Tua to upgrade to get a top 3 quarterback. To try and get the number 1 quarterback. Try and get Mahomes, and then it's a whole big... Because you got Dell. You've got London. You've got Worthy. You're fine. You can trade one of those guys. Easy call. Let me put this call. 602, what's your name, 602, and where are you calling from? Arizona, right? Obviously.
Daniel.
Daniel
North
from Phoenix.
North Phoenix.
What's up, Daniel? Hey, hang tight real quick. I'll come right for you, okay? Just mute yourself
All
if
right,
you
man.
could. Daniel from Phoenix. He's where I am from. We're probably a few miles away, Daniel. Skyward, appreciate you dropping that super chat. Alex with a $5 says, hey, Smitty, was wondering if in a redraft league, would you take MHJ or Kyren if you get someone like Gibbs in round 1? I love both of them. I would rotate. I would try both those strategies, side by side. But if push came to shove, I would take Kyren over MHJ in redraft. In Dynasty, in Dynasty, MHJ's may be my number 1, 2, or 3 overall player. But in redraft, I would take Kyren. I'm not scared of the running back, especially in non-best ball, like grandma leagues, your work league, your buddy league. You're smashing the hell out of the running back strategy. And that boy just wanted to make sure you saw that my league is 2 QB, 3 wide receiver, mandatory double flex, not super flex. 2 QB mandatory, says that boy. Okay, big difference. And if I go to that boy's super chat, let me just make sure I refresh my memory. Mandatory QBs around 3. Yeah, then my advice applies even more. Like, it doesn't change anything. If QBs go around 3, which is stupid, ridiculous, that you're in a 2 QB mandatory and they go in round 3, then even more so. Take your first QB in 2, then jump into the mix where they go in 3, or even better yet, take Mahomes and Josh Allen in this mandatory league. And then, you're going to lose a little bit of ground on the first round and maybe half of the second round of non-quarterbacks getting ripped off the board. But bro, no one's drafting a quarterback from what you're saying from round 2 to 3 in your format. So everyone's going to be drafting a quarterback. So you're going to have nothing but non-QBs getting taken for like a round and a half, and you're just going to have your pickings of everybody that's there. I wouldn't be afraid to do that. I also wouldn't be afraid to do what I suggested, though. Go, Hill or Bijan, and then go Hurts or Mahomes or Josh Allen, and then you're going to go ahead and come back in and get AR5 in round 3 when everybody else is. Probably the best strategy. I'd probably do that. I'd probably stick to my original strategy. If they're taking him in round 3 and you're positive on that, then I'm going non-QB, quarterback, and you're going to dominate the league. Absolutely lambaste them to pieces. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Okay, go to who's up now? Ray G. Rockout's been there a little bit. Rockout, it's a Marsman too. We can't wait. Marsman, Rockout, what's up, my guy?
Oh, what's happening?
Nice
Deli,
rap song.
deli.
Yeah, deli. Take Dell to the deli. Maybe we need to have a video drop of Dell at a deli, just handing out money sandwiches. Boom, boom, boom,
Like
boom.
some good cold cuts.
Can I get a money cold cut? Boom. I'm Tank Dell at the Tank Deli. Boom. Chase Brown.
Chase Brown, deli.
What can I do for you there, Rockout?
Yeah, when I think about Gary Terra, I think him in the same light as DJ Moore when he wasn't really producing until he got to Chicago when he connected with Fields. I think it could be the same thing because he had no QB to throw to him, not the right arm talent, not the right decision-making to make him the player, so he was basically capped.
Philip gifted 1 membership, and Scotty got it. Awesome, Scotty. Thank you, Philip. And Philly Snipes with the 3-month membership, 2 QB Dynasty trade Baker and Chubb for Geno and Jacobs. Yes, I would take Geno and Jacobs. That's a smash. Even though it's like not a fun trade, it's definitely a good trade. Yeah, Rock Out, I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. I think Terry McLaurin, I would be, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we put him on the Moon Man list. I don't know. The disrespect Terry McLaurin gets is maddening. And the only reason I haven't put him on the Moon Man list is because I think Dotson also could be as good as Terry McLaurin. So I don't know. But maybe we put both of them side by side on the Moon Man. I don't know. But McLaurin's going to the moon, I think.
Here's a good,
Barry.
Revenge tour. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a good one. I was just going to say, look at what he did when a quarterback like Jacoby Brissett, who was just a good backup type guy, got in and could throw him the ball accurately. I think he had like 6 for 141. He went off for 2 games. It's like you just need the guy that can put the ball in his hand.
Let's put him on the revenge tour right now. That way. Oh, he's on the revenge tour. He's on there.
He's on there already? Yeah, I forgot.
What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Here I am. We've already been talking him up. Like, what am I doing? He's like, let me show you the revenge tour board he's already there.
Look at better, the revenge tour.
Yeah, whoever's saying Smitty, I hear you, but I'm just in the middle of something. Who's saying Smitty over and over and over? It's okay. Who is it?
My bad.
Who is it?
This is Dan from Phoenix.
Dan, I'm sorry, Dan. Go ahead, Dan. You're a fellow, Arizona.
I'm a first time caller. Been watching you for years.
Attaboy. Let me give you a standing ovation there, Dan from Phoenix. Dan, let's go. What can I do for you, Dan?
Yeah, I've been dominating leagues for years. Repeat winner. Thanks to your advice.
Awesome.
I can't say there's much of anything I've ever disagreed with. The one current thing that I kind of have disagreement with is the Zach Moss, Chase Brown situation, the Brown situation.
Chase Brown?
Love McLaurin. Love Fields. Hard to disagree with anything you've ever said. I've been watching 5+ years.
Chase Brown. So why don't you like Chase Brown and Zach Moss? What are you hanging up with on this? Because, I mean, let's be honest. The Cincinnati Bengal running back is probably going to do pretty productive.
No, yeah, and I love Zach Moss. I draft Zach Moss, but I ain't touching Brown.
Well, I mean, like, let me just show you the Moon Man list real quick.
The Moon Man.
I know.
I mean, they're both on there. So, like, I don't know what you would have much of a disagreement on, because I'm just telling you that both of them are fantastic.
I just don't think Brown could carry the load. Zach Moss looked nice last year.
If he can't, I mean, you cuff him. Look, Moss is cheap. Moss is a lot cheaper than Chase Brown. So you're not wrong in thinking, let me get a standoff, solo version of this thing. I don't need both of them. I can go grab Zach Moss. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to hate on that approach at all. But you can grab both of them pretty damn cheap. And honestly, Chase Brown, let's say you're right and Chase Brown can't carry the whole workload the whole way. He's going to probably pop off for several games before what you predict could happen ends up happening. He's proven that he's a home run hitter.
That's a nice call. I suppose it would be safe to probably have both of them if you're going to have one of them.
He's a home run hitter, and they even interviewed him and asked him what he thought about Zach Moss and did he like the dynamic, and he said, yeah, I love it, because he said Zach Moss is kind of the between the tackle, even goal line guy. He definitely has that ability. Zach Moss is not a small guy. Everybody thinks he's small for whatever reason. He can punch it in and be a good goal line player. I don't think Chase Brown will be the goal line guy. I think Zach Moss has a role no matter what, as a flex play, whatever, even if Chase Brown is doing Chase Brown things. But Chase Brown even said, he's like, I'm the guy that pops it off. I'm the big play guy. You get me the football in open space. Very much a Kamara-like role for him. So you have a Zach Moss, Kamara type of feel here, where Zach Moss does have a role. Chase Brown's getting tons of receptions, tons of work around the outside. Moss gets you 10 carries up the gut. It might even be frustrating. It could be such a committee too that we're like frustrated until one of them bounces. and explodes. But I do think Cincinnati will want to lean on one more than the other, and it'll be pretty clear which one's the more potent player. And I think Chase Brown, from all indications, has the starting job already in his grip. So while you're predicting downfall, which I understand and I'm not hating on it, but you're predicting downfall, Chase Brown does have the job.
Can I just chime in one quick
RB1?
thing?
Go ahead, Ron. Travis.
In terms of, like you said, he's 215 pounds, what he's listed at, so he's not small. And now, before people jump on me, I understand NFL is a different animal from college.
Brown.
But his last year at college, he had 328 carries. So, he's at least shown in terms of that he can carry a load without breaking down. So, just want to touch on that. So,
someone wanted to know why Coleman wasn't on the Moon Man list.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars Man.
He's on the Mars Man. He's on the Mars Man list.
Loads dropping and spinning aim.
Okay, go ahead. Someone was wondering why he wasn't on the moon. I was like, well, it's because he's on Mars. I mean, who's messing around with the moon these days? The moon's old news. All right, hang tight. Let me go over to Ray G, then to Sebastian, then to John, then to Josh from Cali, then to Daniel. So it's a little bit of a wait, but I'll try and go as quickly as I can to get to all you guys fast, and then I'll try and circle back around. So as quick as you can, go ahead, Ray G. Appreciate you. Ray G to the moon.
Yes, Smitty, I tried something different with my with the weeklies. So here's my team. I got Jaden Daniels, Samir White, Josh Jacobs, got MHJ, Tank Dell, Coleman, Worthy, and Puka.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I don't mind that.
Goddard as my tight end.
I don't mind that. That's definitely a nice crew there. What else you got, Ray G?
That's it. I was just asking your opinion on that, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, good team. I don't mind wide receiver. Puka and MHJ is a pretty good team, but I do find I like the running back, wide receiver, running back balance a little bit more, and I do like the running back more than the wide receiver. But, that's because I love, even if we're going hero, right? You take a Bijan, a Gibbs, a Breece Hall, and then you go wide receiver, quarterback, tight end shopping for a while. And those running backs are so plentiful in around 6, 7, 8. Just getting the Connors with Benson, getting Zamir, getting Jalen Warren. These moon men right here.
The moon men.
Yeah.
Dropping loads.
Look at Warren.
In outer space.
Warren's going to be... And Najee looked pretty good, today. He looked decent. But Warren is the guy that I want. Warren, I want them both. I don't mind cuffing the two of them, but if I've got to draft one, I'm drafting Warren. But Warren to the moon. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get Warren, Benson, and Chase Brown too.
To me, I'd rather have Gibbs or Breece Hall versus Puka when I can get Tank Dell in round 4. You know what I'm saying? Tank Dell in round 4 beats Puka Nacua out at 9 when it means you can get a Gibbs or a Bijan or a Breece Hall or even a Kyron.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Round 4 RB with Puka round 1 does not beat even Kyron at 11 if need be, and Tank Dell in round number 4.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Anything else, Ray G? Ray G to the mother frickin' moon. All right, hang tight, Ray G. If you think of something else, just mute yourself real quick. Let me go over to Sebastian. Did you have something really quick? You've already talked, but if it's really quick, if you start talking for a while, I'm just going to hang up. So real quickly.
Oh, no. It was about the Nico Collins and CD. I think the Nico Collins side smashes the hell out of CD because, just the talent, or wide receivers are correlated with talent as far as the production goes.
No.
And if you can get that in the 11th round, why wouldn't you just take all the value and all the other parts of the board? So I think it's an absolute smash if you can get like a quarterback, a hero RB, another wide receiver, a good tight end, even a little early in round 3 or 4. So I just think that smashes the hell out of the TD side.
All right, hang tight. Thank you, Sebastian. All right, let me go over to John. John, then Josh from Cali, then Daniel. John, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, I wanted to get your thoughts on CeeDee Lamb, considering Jerry Jones technically has all the power. You can franchise tag him, and if Lamb sits out more than 10 games or something like that, they can technically franchise him again the following year. So what do you think happens to Lamb? Do you think he just says, screw it, I'm out, I'm tired of dealing with Jerry Jones, old, you know what, and I want to go play for a team where they have a QB and they actually appreciate me? That's all I got. Thoughts on Lamb, thoughts on Jerry Jones. Have a great night, Smitty.
Thank you. I think Lamb Chops could absolutely shock the world and do what we don't think anybody would do. Like right now, there are very few players that would ever have the balls or the financial situation to push something like this to the limits. But Lamb is a very curious case because he doesn't care. You can tell he doesn't care. He knows he's elite. He could sit out half of the year if he wanted and prove a point. And maybe you're right. There's nothing that he ends up getting tagged or like. I get it. Like there's that problem, but I think that we're seeing with Aiyuk that if you create a big enough stink, you can pretty much almost most of the time force yourself out of a situation. It didn't happen this year. Wouldn't shock me if Lamb requests a trade. Like if we start talking about Lamb all of a sudden for weeks and weeks about getting traded. I mean, I guess I would ask this question. If Jerry Jones, and Mike, thank you for the $10 sticker, pal. Appreciate you, Mike. Mike to the mother freaking moon. Mike, thank you. $10 hauler gets a moonshot.
To the moon.
I think I'd ask this question. Jerry, if you don't want to pay Lamb, then wouldn't you be prone to being willing to trade him? If you don't want to sign Dak to a long-term deal, aren't you kind of vulnerable to trade him? He's got a no-trade clause, but he would sign off on anything relatively decent, right? Because he's going to get the bag. So let's say the Raiders pick up the phone and say, Jerry, how about we just take Dak off your hands? You're not giving him a contract, so you're admitting that you don't know if you want Dak for the future. We'll give you the world. What do you want? And we'll give you how many first rounders do you want? You want to rebuild. You clearly are not wanting to lock this team down. What do you want? And Jerry, if you want to see what's what before you lock it down, understand that Dak Prescott is going to say no to you because he has a no trade clause. If they win the Super Bowl, they won't. But if they did, hypothetically, Dak is going to walk because you didn't give him a contract and he can go anywhere. So what is the end game here? To have what? Him prove you right and he's bad and then you didn't sign him. Well, we'll take him off your hands. Or if you go out and ball out, you're losing him anyway. You look like the biggest fool on the planet because you can't retain Dak at all because you were a moron about it. And Lamb Chops, I don't know. Lamb might, who knows? Lamb might request a trade. He very well could request a trade. Wouldn't shock me at all if we heard this week that Lamb wants a trade. So to answer John's question, I don't know. Lamb could sit out the exact amount of time needed to accrue a year, but it doesn't really solve the problem in the next offseason because Jerry could repeat the same thing in terms of a franchise. I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, I think Jerry wakes up on the right side of the bed one of the next days in the next 2 weeks and signs Lamb, and then we're just wondering if he does the same thing with Dak. Jerry's very much the kind of person that tells us one thing 1 minute and tells us another thing the next minute. So I don't know that he's all there. So I could see him because he said, "You don't think this? I stay up late at night, every night, trying to hammer out deals on Dak and Lamb." Then the next day he says, "I'm not. There's no urgency. I'm not doing anything. This is about this year." Then the next day it's like, "I'm staying up late at night trying to work out." So I really don't know that he's all there. So being that he's not all there, that means he could sign Dak and Lamb at any second, or he could continue to go down this road. I don't know. The answer is nobody knows. And that's why Lamb becomes a little bit of a risk every day moving forward, but not somebody I'm ready to give up on and walk away because these usually work out. Let me go over to Josh from Cali. Josh, you're live.
Yo, what up, Smitty? How you doing, brother?
What's up, man?
Hey, man. So I just had my big draft, all right? I went 0 RBs, but I'm just kind of having – I ended up killing it. I ended up getting Coleman in the 10th, and I'm really thinking about making a play for Achane and just giving away either Puka or A.J. Brown from him because I'm so deep at receiver. Well, what do you think? I still got DK, I got Coleman, I got Hollywood Brown, and I got Jaden Reed. And along with Puka and A.J. Brown.
Yeah,
my best running back is Amir White.
I don't mind that, but I would definitely get more because Puka's going in the top 10, A.J. Brown's going in the top 8, Achane's going at the 2-3 turn. So miscalculation because you went a strategy that I don't really love overall this year is going 0 RB. I think hero RB is fantastic, but 0 RB, not my favorite approach. But this year, it can be one of my favorite approaches. It just depends. And obviously, best player available, I might find a team where it works great. But usually, I could tell you best player available does not open many doors for it to be better than the other approaches, in my opinion. So, yeah, go get Achane and something. Like, what else can you get? Can you upgrade quarterback? Can you upgrade at some level? Or you go after Kyren Williams straight up. You make sure you get Corum. I don't know if you got Corum, if he's available. Can you trade for him? But Kyren Williams is 12-13 capable. Achane's right there too, but you're going to require more because I think, Kyren commands the value more so than Achane. So I think you're taking a bath on your trade value if you don't get more with Achane.
All right. Appreciate it, brother.
All right. Later, man.
Later.
Okay. I already talked to Daniel. Ryan from Denver, then Ethan. Ryan, go.
Hey, how we doing? Happy Friday.
Yeah,
I have a quick follow-up to a similar dynasty question I've already asked.
Okay.
I would be sending Jalen Hurts and a 2026 second. I would receive Lamar Jackson and a presumably lottery pick, top 4, 25 first. This kid's team is not good and going to be a top 4 first. Could be one, but not guaranteed.
Oh, man. Travis, were you trying to say something?
I'm a win-now team. Huh?
Were you trying to say something a minute ago?
No.
No. I'd say this is a 1 QB, you said?
No, this is Superflex. I also have Dak, Goff, Penix.
And it's dynasty, so it's pure dynasty, right?
Yep, correct.
Because you got the rookie draft involved, so I assume that. Okay, yeah, that's I don't know, man. If I'm drafting in a dynasty startup Superflex, Hurts is 2 or 3 overall. I think Lamar's obviously in the top 6, 7. So the thing about Superflex is that it makes the 1.1 rookie pick, in my opinion, less valuable because I don't believe that the quarterback class is going to be as good as this year's class, like JD5, for example. So it's not like you're giving up the opportunity for the locked-in 1.1 anyway, but if it ended up being the 1.1, in a Superflex, it's a less valuable 1.1. So I'm going to go ahead and say, give me Hurts, bro. Just give me the guy that I think is a top 3 overall Superflex option for, 5, 6, 7 more years. Not giving up Hurts. It sounds enticing because Lamar is an attractive, player because everyone talks about him all the time. But, bro, aside from last year, Lamar failed 3 years in a row. He's only had one great full season in the last 4 years. He's gotten injured or had a bust of a first half of a year and then strong second half, like 2 years ago or whatever it was, where he literally was benchable for the first 7, 8 games. And then he started turning it on and he did really well. He doesn't produce top 30 wide receivers. Derrick Henry's coming over to run more. The offensive line went from top 5, top 6 to bottom 5 in the NFL. It went from one of the most attractive offensive lines to one of the most worrisome offensive lines. And they're going to run the ball more than ever. No, thank you. And he's coming in even 10 pounds lighter than last year and playing at, 204? The odds of injury go up tremendously. I know he staved off injury last year, but I just don't like it. I'm going to go Hurts all day long, bro.
I appreciate it. That answers my question. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a great
All right,
weekend.
later, bro. Ethan, you're live.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro.
That's good. That's good. I got a trade question. Need some trade help.
Okay, hit me with it. We're burning daylight here. We're burning daylight.
I don't know what I got myself into. I'm in a Dynasty Superflex tight end premium.
Okay.
And it has 3 wide receiver spots and 3 flex spots.
What's the question, bro? You're killing me here.
Yep, and the trade I have is
Ethan, hurry the hell up! I don't know. You're on the phone 3 minutes. We don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's JT for Devontae Smith.
Okay, JT for Devontae Smith. Dynasty.
Yeah, and I have Devontae.
All that extra stuff. This isn't even quarterback related. Not even tight end premium related.
I know. I get that.
I'm gonna say. I mean,
and it is Dynasty.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I mean, JT's got higher value. Do I worry about JT? Sure, but do I think? What's your running back situation look like?
I got Achane and Wright, and I do need some help at running back. I got Zamir White.
What do you got at? What do you got at run?
Jerome.
What do you got at wide receiver?
Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr., Devontae Smith, George Pickens, Keon Coleman.
Yeah, I get JT.
And then a bunch of.
Go get JT.
You get JT.
Smash. Yeah, easy.
Okay.
Easy.
All right.
All right, Ethan. I'm just kind of messing with you. Partly true, but totally.
No, I get it.
All right, Ethan. Ethan, you waited on hold for a while, so you probably got cold. Like you were stretching, you were ready to go, and I sat you on the bench for like 15 minutes, and I expect you to go out and drain threes. It's my fault. It's on me. I take a.
Yeah, you're good. And then there's also another one that the guy that has in the same league, he really wants my Devon Achane, Jalen Wright combo.
I bet he does.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get Patrick Mahomes for him, but I don't think he's going to do it. That would be sick in the Superflex.
Yeah, that would be. But, hey, who could you throw in at QB? Because that's how you're going to get him to do it.
Yeah, so my QB situation is struggling a little bit. I mean, it's not too bad. I have Jaden Daniels, and then I have the Justin Fields, Russell Wilson combo.
I mean, bro, that could be sneaky good. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't ever want to hear a bad QB situation and JD5 in the same sentence again. I'm just going to say that right now. But no, really that could be sneaky.
Yeah.
That could be sneaky, bro.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm tempted to leave that as is and kind of ride that like undervalued train there. But I mean, of course, I would do it straight up. I would take Achane and turn him into Mahomes in a Superflex. I mean, I'm not an idiot. But if he's not gonna, I wouldn't give up JD5. If he's not gonna bite on the Fields,
no way.
The Fields Achane, but like Fields and Achane might outperform. Like that's pretty damn good, bro. Fields could be. I like it. It's intriguing. Would I take Mahomes? Yeah. Probably, because it's Superflex. He's going number 1 overall, number 2 overall. So like Fields and Achane and Wright for Mahomes in something. I mean, I'd toy around with that. So see what you can do, but don't give up JD5.
Yeah.
All right, Ethan.
Okay.
All right, call back. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks,
all right, call at any time. The phone lines are open to you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Ron Navy, you're live. Ron Navy, how you feeling, Ron? You got to be kind of upset out of all this, like, misinformation everywhere. No one knows what's going on. Aiyuk could be literally a Cleveland Brown or a Pittsburgh Steeler tomorrow, or he could be in San Francisco on the 5th-year option. I am hearing very, 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 very confirmed info from people I trust that the path that this is on right now, that the media is spinning, is the true path. That he is in fact trying to go back to San Francisco. He feels like he wants to be in San Francisco. He doesn't want to go anywhere now. But the problem is, I'm also hearing And I'm also reading and I'm also feeling myself in my gut that he still is living in a delusional world, that he can now bring the money that he's been cited over in these other places to San Francisco and piss off the Niners as they go, do you want to be here or not? So that could drive the Niners back in a direction of saying, look, we've accepted these 2 deals. Take them or you're playing on your 5th-year option to get out of my office. What are you feeling, Ron?
Oh, I'm feeling, and you know, I know some of your sources, but I think they're all wishful thinking. I don't. There's nothing out there that's legit. There's no real sources out there that know the situation. Aiyuk knows what he's doing. I mean, look at it. The last 4 years, right? The 49ers have been on a pattern. They lowballed their first offer. They did it to Bosa. They did it to Debo. They did it to what's his name? But now in July and August, they always come back and they give a better offer. Last 4 years. So when they got for Debo not Debo, but Aiyuk, the first offer, it was a low ball offer. So in Aiyuk's mind, he's thinking, okay, well, all these other guys got low ball offers. Bosa was the last one I was thinking of. So they did it to all 3 of those other guys. Last 4 years, they've created a pattern. So Aiyuk's looking at this, okay, well, they'll come back to me in July and August and they'll offer me what I want or a lot better offer. And they didn't do that. The 49ers broke their attempt last 4 years and didn't do that. The 49ers are spinning all of this stuff up because they don't want to look like the idiots that they truly are. They could have had Debo Aiyuk way back.
Yeah, they definitely screwed up, for sure.
They wanted to play games. They wanted to play games. Wanted to play games. The 49ers are always freaking playing games, but yet they get upset when the players start to play games. So I'm not upset at Aiyuk. I think, play all the games. Piss them off. Because you know what? They deserve it because of the way they're doing business.
Yeah,
he's proven himself as a receiver.
I agree.
He's proven himself as a very valuable receiver, and they're screwing him around. So screw him back.
I agree with you to an extent. I agree with you to a certain extent. I think the Niners are the culprit here from the jump. But I disagree that Aiyuk isn't. I think Aiyuk, and again, I feel very, very confident to say this, that the Niners organization is really fed up with this and his indecisiveness. They've given him every opportunity. They have. The Niners screwed it up from the beginning. I agree with you. But they've given him every opportunity. They haven't even said, you know what, we're only dealing with this team like the Cleveland Browns. Take it or leave it. They've given him multiple scenarios to go to and say you get permission to talk to them. And if you grant permission to New England, Ron, you grant permission to talk with New England, your agent comes to terms on a deal or an agreement on the numbers, and then he backs out and says, I don't want to go there. That's on Aiyuk.
Why did he go there? Why did he want to go with a rookie quarterback?
But Ron,
why did he want to go to Cleveland?
But why negotiate with them? Why get to the point where? Right? But why get to the point where you're actually wasting even New England's time, and then you decide you don't want to go there? That's like telling your realtor, "Take me into that house, draw up the contract, waste your time, and then at the end go."
The whole thing with New England? Wait. New England. I didn't waste New England or the Browns. It was the 49ers organization that. Okay, we're going to get what we can get. We can do a trade with New England. We can do a trade with the Browns because they'll give us back what we want. Aiyuk, that's not what Aiyuk wanted.
Ron, I'm telling you, I'm telling you that Aiyuk, the numbers were presented. I'm telling you the numbers were presented to Aiyuk's team, and he's the one that said, you know what, I don't want to go to New England.
He wants to go play where he can win. He wants to go play for a team that's win. That has a possibility of going into the playoffs.
Ron,
I don't blame him.
Ron,
he overestimated his market.
The deal was accepted between the Browns and the Niners because Aiyuk was his agent and him were granted permission to speak to the Browns and negotiate to a degree right up to the point where the Niners said, fine, okay, yes, we'll do that deal. And then Aiyuk backs out of that one.
Doesn't mean he wants to stay there. Doesn't mean he wants to go there. Just negotiate. He wants to see what they'll give him. But it doesn't mean that he's going to be satisfied or he wants to go play with there. I mean, he'd be stupid. His agent's probably telling him, let's see what we got, because that if New England's going to give you 33, the Browns going to give you 32 or whatever.
Ron, we see this very similar. We see this very similar, but I disagree with you that Aiyuk hasn't strung along the whole world on the Cleveland Brown, the New England Patriot, all these scenarios, and it's ridiculous. Like, people are tired of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's not trying to get his bag and he doesn't deserve to try and make the most money and all that, but like, he's been presented with 2 offers that he was acceptable to explore, and he's saying no to both of them. And the Niners are just like, what do you want? And I don't blame the Niners right now.
Yes.
I blame them earlier.
Steelers.
You what?
Ayuk said yes to the Steelers. Ayuk said yes to the Steelers.
We don't
contract.
know. We don't.
He agreed that he
We
was
fully don't
contract
know.
with the
We
Steelers.
fully
But
don't
the Niners
know.
don't like it. The Niners don't like it because they're not getting back what they think they should get back for Ayuk. The Niners, in their head, they still think Ayuk's worth 2 first-round draft picks. They're idiots.
But
The
Ron,
Niner
they
organization-
had similar deals set up with like the Patriots. They had a similar deal with what the Steelers are going to do, what the Patriots were going to do, very similar. So they're not asking for first rounders from Pittsburgh and asking them like New England. The New England deal was.
At this point, in all reality, it doesn't matter. If he goes to Steelers, he goes to Steelers. If he goes to San Francisco, God help San Francisco. And you know what? Like we said, for one thing, he's going to be more injury prone. He'll probably end up injured, just like all the other San Francisco
he might.
49ers because they're already banged up, and it's not even. They haven't even played. They're not even. They're still in training camp. Look how many players are injured.
It's a disaster.
And it's year after year that these 49er players are always injured. So and plus they're gonna have these players that are going to be pissed off at Aiyuk, and let them be in the locker room. Let them be the disruption, because all the news media is going to do, from if he stays there and everything, through all preseason, through the first game, how's Brandon? What's going on with Brandon? Brandon. You know it, I know it, and that's going to be the headlines. It's going to piss the players off, and the 49ers hope to make a run this year, which they, with all that distraction and stuff, they will not make a run. And you got questions on CMC now. You got questions on all these injured players that they have right now. And 49ers season is done before it even starts.
Do you agree he's just as injury prone if he goes to the Steelers or the Browns or any team now?
That's a good question.
Or are you saying just if he
I mean,
goes
I'll say he is. Does
clarify.
So let them stay in the 49ers, but the 49ers are gonna punch themselves in the face,
Ron,
because it's
Ron, but
they're gonna have so much.
But Ron, what
so
he's
much
asking,
stuff in their locker room, so much distraction that's not even gonna be fun.
but Ron, what he's asking is, do you feel like he's still got the same injury risk if he goes to Pittsburgh right now than he stays in San Francisco?
He does.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
He has the injury at this point. No matter
Just
where
making
he
sure
goes,
you
he has
agree.
that injury.
Yeah, I look. I'll say this, Ron. Again, you and I agree more than I think it's sounding like. It's just the only part that we differ on, and it's fine. We'll just let this part go. Is that I'm starting to blame Aiyuk a lot right now. The Niners created this entire mess. They created this entire mess. The Niners should have locked him down. They could have offered him well above the Ridley price when Ridley signed, and it would have been done. And I'm tired of hearing Niner fans say that the Niners tried. They offered him a deal. He said no. Like later on, when his value exploded, they were trying to.
I love it.
They were trying to throw
love
some water on the fire. I know you do. I know you do, Ron. I know.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset.
I know you're not. I know you're not. Everyone knows you want him in Pittsburgh.
They're a laughing stock. Right now, the 49ers are a laughing stock, and their fans are laughing stock. They're all laughing stock because
Ron really wants Aiyuk.
I love it. I love it. I
a little
love
salty.
All of it. Even if he doesn't go to the Steelers.
Can we be on Ron? Ron, can we be honest? Can we be honest right now? Feet on the couch. Talk to Talk to your
they act like
psychologist,
they're-
Smitty.
The 49ers, they act like they're entitled. That, you know, everybody should bow to the 49ers' wishes and whatever they want to do.
On a scale of
you know
1 to
what?
on a scale of 1 to 10, Ron, how
man.
salty are we feeling? It's okay to answer this question because
Salty? I'm not salty. I am salty. I'm laughing my ass off, and I love it because if I stays there with the 49ers, there ain't no way they're making a run this year at all. At all, guaranteed.
Okay.
Stages agree.
Anyway,
They're going to regret this whole thing. And
Hey,
maybe,
look,
maybe
Ron,
they'll learn a lesson.
Ron.
But I doubt it. It's a chance
Okay.
more than any lesson.
Let me just say this because I said this all last night too. I think the Niners are in a vulnerable position because, and let me explain why I think. And Ron, you're going to be excited about my explanation because I think Aiyuk is a big cause, and you're just going to say, "Good, I'm glad he did it," and I understand that. So hold on. The Niners almost ripped off the Cleveland Browns like so many others have. they almost lambasted the Cleveland Browns. And they are basically getting Amari Cooper, who in my opinion for the Niners right now is better than Aiyuk anyway, because Aiyuk is in his own head. He's injury prone right now because he sat out. He's a huge injury risk walking into the season wherever he goes, even if he goes to Washington. To Travis's question, you know, the biased question, are you biased if he goes to Washington? Is he injury prone? It's a great question. The answer is yes. He's as injury prone in Washington as he is in Pittsburgh, as he is in San Francisco, because he's been holding out. So here you have the Niners. Can I have you guys mute in the background? I don't know if that's Bill the Tickler, but I got a lot of background noise. So essentially you have Aiyuk, who is going to go to Cleveland. The Niners are going to absolutely rip off the Cleveland Browns like so many have in the past. They're going to get Amari Cooper, and they're going to walk into an NFC championship game. At least you get Amari Cooper, you're smashing the hell out of this trade, and you're replacing an injury-prone player who's been holding out, proof by Debo holding out, and how that ended up working out that year. Debo was awful that year. Debo admits it's because of the holdout. He's messed up mentally. He's messed up physically. He couldn't play. Aiyuk's very much in that situation. So the Niners have this Browns trade worked out, ready to go. It's accepted. The Browns accept. The Niners accept. Aiyuk just needs to accept the terms of the deal. And he's been involved in this, poking around at it. And he decides, I don't want to go to Cleveland. I want my baby bottle. And so he wants to go home, or he wants to go ever. Now, regardless why, Ron, regardless why, it absolutely kicked the Niners in the nutsack. Because now the Niners are sitting there, and I said this last night, now they're sitting there going, we don't have Amari Cooper. We have this player that's completely causing chaos with our roster right now and our plans of getting ready for week 1. We've got a 28-year-old running back in Christian McCaffrey who has a calf injury right now. Very worrisome. Trent Williams, who's sitting out. The Amari Cooper trade would have freed up $6 million so they could give Trent Williams his money. It was all lined up and ready to go. So Aiyuk has pissed off this organization, and now he's going back trying to say, I want to stay. And they're like, good God, you screwed up the Browns deal that we set up for you, and now you're coming back as an injury risk player, and our team is out of sync. We don't have Trent Williams extended. This would have solved that problem. It's chaos. So in a sense, Ron, what I'm saying is I agree with you. The Niners are not in the best position right now. This is a dangerous territory for San Francisco because of Aiyuk.
Listen, we all agree. We all agree on this, right? The Niners, they were in a position of strength. They wouldn't be trying to do what's been reported on that no other team has ever done in the NFL, is try to do a 3-team trade. They are in a very bad position. They are shooting for straws. They're trying to do whatever they can. And you know what? Omar Khan's just sitting back there laughing and being patient or whatever. If we get Aiyuk, fine, we get Aiyuk. If we don't get Aiyuk, that's fine too. We'll do other things. But it just makes me laugh, the whole situation, that the 49ers could have prevented all this to begin with. Year after year, they do the same thing. They're so predictable. Everybody knows that. All the GMs in the NFL know that, how they are. and it's really hilarious. And the fans sit there and they back Shanahan and they back their 49ers, which they're fans. Maybe they should, but they don't do the right thing for their players. And in fact, they can't afford Aiyuk. They can't afford. Next year, they're going to have to pay Purdy all this money. They're going to have to pay all these other players. So if they pay Aiyuk, where's the money for Purdy coming from? Where's the money to keep all these other players coming from? They can't afford it. So they're.
Who's making all the noise? Hold on. Who's making all the noises in the background? What is that? Is that Bill the Tickler? Who's going? Is that Bill? Who is that? It's okay. I just want.
I'm on mute, Smitty. I'm on mute since I dialed you up.
Right,
It's
okay.
not Bill the Tickler. Not me at all.
Okay. Is it Rockout? Rockout's okay if it's you. I'm just curious. Is it Daniel from Phoenix?
You get mute. I've been mute.
No one admits it. No one ever admits when they're making the sounds and they're.
Smitty, is it me? Is it me, Smitty?
Who's that? Daniel?
Yeah, it's me.
Well, let me ask you a clarifying question. Were you going a minute ago?
No, definitely not.
All right, everybody mute but Ron. Maybe Ron's doing it in the background as he's taking breaths in between his rant. Go ahead. I got to answer these super chats in a second, Ron. So keep it.
Ron is going pretty well off the rails.
Keep it short. Like shorten it up and close it out, Ron, real quickly. Okay, close it out real quickly.
I'm not going off the rails. In the chat's really funny. It's funny because everybody reacts to every single news report out there. Everybody was reacting. Did I overreact when the possibility of Aiyuk coming to the Steelers happened, when they were talking about it and all those reports were out there? I didn't overreact to that, and I didn't overreact to anything. I'm not overreacting to this.
Hang tight real quick.
Is watching the game tonight, and you'll get a kick at. I looked at Arthur Smith sitting on the sideline. He looks like a guy that would be driving a white van trying to hand out candy.
Yeah. All right, hang tight, Ron. Let me get these super chats out of the way real quick. Everybody keep muted real quick. Thank you for that $9 sticker post. Who was that did that? That was Mike D. Appreciate you dropping a 9-watt on the screen. Jacob says, does Ron got a super chat 1,000 if Aiyuk plays in San Francisco? Ron doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do. Like even if, but Ron did say that it has to be Washington or the Steelers, or it was $1,000 super chat. So to answer that question, Ron doesn't have to do anything, but that's what Ron said. Ron, am I wrong about that?
No, I told you what I always do what I said I'm going to do.
So I never. No, and I'm not questioning you. I did get it correct, right? Okay.
No, what have I?
No, I'm just clarifying the stance. I agree with Smitty. Yeah, I'm not. And again, you don't even have to do it, but I'm just clarifying that I did get it correct. Yes. Okay. I agree with Smitty. San Francisco are dumb, but BA is playing games. Justin, I 100% agree with you. I think we all agreed that the Niners screwed up. I think everybody on the phone line, probably Ron included, myself, Justin. I think the difference is, I think Ron, you don't need to answer this. I'm just telling you my interpretation. Okay, this is this is why I went to school, was to analyze you right now in this moment. My psychology degree was about you. Okay, they said, hey, you're going to be talking to a guy years and years from now, and you need to psychoanalyze it. I think Ron is a little bit salty that Aiyuk didn't go to San Francisco. Hold on, Ron, this is just my interpretation. That you almost had Aiyuk. And we talked last night, the night before, if the Steelers get Aiyuk, you go from, in my mind at least, and this could be different scale for you, but like a 7.3, 7.4 out of 10 team to an 8.3. to an 8.4, to an 8.5. And I don't know that Aiyuk goes up tremendously in value or goes down or stays the same, but the Steelers go up. The Steelers have a tremendously bigger shot at being a multiple playoff winning team, multiple rounds. So I think that you do feel pissed off that Aiyuk is potentially not going there. And so you're a little bit more mad at the situation. But at the end of the day, we're in agreement that the Niners 100% screwed this up. But I think if he's going to go back to San Francisco, you want it to be turmoil. And I understand that. You're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. It's okay to not want a team to succeed that isn't the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I understand you. But I do think that there's a little bit of salt involved because you almost had a better team by 10, 15%.
I'm actually happy because yeah, Aiyuk would have helped maybe, but we still don't know what Arthur Smith's offense is going to look like in the regular season. We still don't know if it'll be effective or ineffective, even with the players that we have. And I'm still not a Tomlin fan. So, and I told this at the wait before the draft and everything else. I've been saying this left and right. I hope Tomlin fails because he hasn't done anything over these last years to, so what? He's never had a lose, but he has a crappy postseason, and his postseason sucked. And I don't like Tomlin. So the whole thing is, and did you know the Steelers? I mean, this is a reflection on Tomlin. The Steelers have the least in the whole league, the least amount of coaching staff than any other team in the NFL. They have the least amount of coaching staff in the NFL. It's because Tomlin is a narcissist.
All right. Okay, appreciate it. Real quickly, I got to get these super chats. Human Ziggy says $2 hauler, Silver Rapture, 5 months sober. Congrats, Silver Rapture said. Blackbeard's the man. 5 months, no booze, brother. Congrats, Silver. Silver to the moon. Appreciate Silver. Silver is probably the longest running follower I have here on the channel right now. He was there when I literally didn't have 10 viewers in a live stream. He was like viewer 4 or 3. And I don't know where 1 and 2 went. It's probably my mom and my uncle. I don't know. So Silver, appreciate you, Silver. Longest tenured watcher of this channel, and he hasn't gone anywhere. Silver to the moon. Thank you, Human Ziggy, for dropping that. Justin Rush, things have gone too far at this point. They have to trade him. If you're Brandon, what are you going to do? Let Pearsall eat into your snap share, says Justin. Justin, it's not really like that, though. Like, it hasn't gone too far. Aiyuk is saying no to the options that are on the table. It's like I said, my realtor example is the perfect example. You are running your realtor ragged when you're like, show me a home, especially before the new rules of realtors these days with the contracts. You were literally abusing your realtor before those contracts came out, where you're like, hey, Maggie, show me 17 homes. And then you go to all the homes, you like one home, you say, cook up a contract, make it all work. And then in the final hour, you're like, I don't like the schools. Well, you knew what schools were around when you looked at it and you wanted me to draw a contract up. Okay, what other house do you like? Hey, Margaret or Maggie, whatever I said your name was, show me that house over there. Okay, well, go look at this house. You like it? Do you like the schools? Schools are good. Okay, I'll cook up the contract. Start typing away. Margaret's up late, slept 2 hours. Showing these homes over and over. Here's the contract. I don't like the weather on this side of the mountain that we're on right here. I think I'd rather live on the other side of the mountain. And Margaret's just flipping out at this point. That's what Aiyuk has done here. I understand what Ron's saying, and I agree with some of it. But right now, Aiyuk is becoming a big problem because he's had several opportunities to get out and get his money. If it's about $32 million versus 29, the Niners offering about 29 is what I'm hearing. 28.5, could it be 29? I think they bump it up. If he won't accept 29 versus 32, wherever he is, he's getting 32 in a lesser situation, or 29. He has no choice. Take the money or take the situation. It's completely up to him. The Niners have made it abundantly clear. And he's just sitting there. Hold on, let me just get through your super chats real quick. Things have to be. So thank you, Justin. Appreciate you dropping that super chat. Mike D with the $10 holler and the sticker earlier. Mike D, appreciate you dropping a wad on screen, my guy. He says league keepers so far: Achan, Kyron Williams, Breece Hall, Puka Nacua, James Cook. This is a grandma league. You're smashing, bro. Jordan Addison suspended. Rashad White, Garrett Wilson. Do I keep Dell for a 13th or Pacheco for a 2nd? You're keeping Dell for a 13th easily, bro, because Pacheco doesn't even really deserve to be in round 2 as much as we love him. He's a moon man, but he's a top of round 3 or 3rd round smash. So this is not even close. There's not even a question here. Mike, your team is absolutely so good you can't see straight right now, which is why you're asking this question. What a team. But that might have to be one of the easiest questions that has ever been asked in the channel, so great job with your squad. Wheezy, you still here? I'm sorry about the wait on this one. 2 keepers, Superflex. Keeping AR5, which is smart. Want to keep Gibbs over Kyler, but it is a 3 wide receiver league. Also need to choose between Kyler and Burrow in another. Thoughts? I'd probably go Kyler over Burrow because I just feel like Kyler is a little bit further away from injury than Burrow is. And I also believe that Kyler, statistically speaking, has been an elite quarterback. He's been a top 5 quarterback in fantasy football in games played, essentially. And he's flirted with the 5-7. And he's never had the weapons he's about to be handed right now. So Kyler, to me, with the running capability, running quarterbacks rule fantasy, it's the way it is. Look at Tua. Tua wasn't even a top 10 quarterback last year. And he led the league in passing yards. And he had a massive amount of touchdowns. So running rules the league. Kyler is one of those quarterbacks that gets you 18 to 20 points per game when he's starting. It's a phenomenal stat. And the year he went down in 2022, he was a top 5 quarterback in that 10-week stretch before he tore his ACL. So let's not pretend that Kyler Murray hasn't been a top 5 quarterback. I'm keeping Kyler. As far as this other question, I mean, you could lay off on this one and say, since you got Kyler in this one, you could go Gibbs. But at the end of the day, I mean, Kyler does go ahead of Gibbs in a super flex, but you do have the AR5 advantage. Can you get Cousins and Fields and Cousins and Penix Jr. and Fields later? It would make me want to go Gibbs in that situation because I do traditionally like to go one amazing QB in round 1, AR5, then go back to normal non-QB drafting until I get to where I can get that Cousins and Penix Jr., especially if it's a keeper league, because Cousins will be very cheap because nobody wants Cousins right now. He's got an expiration date on him, and people are scared to death of him, so he's a steal. So you grab Cousins. No one wants Penix Jr., at least really high, because he's not a starter. You grab those 2 as your QB2, and you're smashing, bro. That is my advice. Appreciate you. Justin says, arrived at night job. Are you doing an AM show tonight? I don't know. Maybe not, because it's already 8 p.m. my time. We're getting close to midnight already. We'll have to see. We've been live for 2.5 hours. Mike, appreciate that $10 hauler. Again, my guy, you are the man, the myth, the legend. And the final super chat, at least to catch up anyways, D-Town's $20 mother freaking hauler, where he said, keep it up, bro. You got this, Silver Rapture. This is a shout out to Silver. Dropping $20 bills, y'all. $19.99, D-Town, 2 silver.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, D-Town, for sending that beautiful message to your boy, Silver. And Silver, on that note, to celebrate Silver Rapture, Silver, what video drop do you want? I will drop it for you upon request right now, Silver. All right, let me go back over to, let's go to Bill the Tickler, who's been waiting there quite a while. Bill the Tickler, what can we do for you, pal?
Hey, brother. Just been taking it as usual. Ron Navy. I heard.
Bill, spit it. Bill, spit it out, for goodness sakes.
Did Ron Navy say, I hope Mike Tomlin fails? Did he say that? Did I hear that?
Here we go. Bill, you have to ask this question. You have to go on. We have to go Pittsburgh Steelers, because Ron's not going to stop for 10, 15 minutes. Bill, ask something else.
No, wait, no, we're not going to go. Okay, no, we're not going to go. Okay, so here's my.
Never been a question about it. I don't like Tomlin.
Hey, Smitty, you started this stuff between me and Ron.
Yeah, I know. By the way, Human Ziggy, 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Human Ziggy. My alerts aren't going off on this, but 5 gifted memberships from, who's dropping this? This is from D-Town, gifting 5 gifted memberships. Human Ziggy gifting another 5 memberships. You guys are absolute monsters. Human Ziggy, D-Town, appreciate you. And if I missed any other gifted memberships, let me know. Bill the Tickler, ask another question. Go ahead, reset.
Well, shout out to someone paying attention that named themselves Human Ziggy. That's a big thumbs up. Hit that smash. Hit that thumbs up.
Okay.
I love the disarray that Aiyuk is throwing into all of this, to the true football, and to the fantasy because I don't actually draft those guys like that. So when they're going to still get drafted, so it leaves guys like London and Metcalf and Nico Collins available while people are taking Debo and Aiyuk. So my question would be,
for real, and this is how we coming on my frill, for ill, and we be going taking over Tank Dale Cohen taking over line.
I'm sorry, were you saying something, Bill? I couldn't tell.
No, I wasn't. No, Rock Out said it all. Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
Bill,
Nope,
do
Rock
you
Out said
think
it all.
Bill? Let's start over. Let me ask you questions. How's that, Bill? Do you think Aiyuk is going to be a Niner at the end of the day? It's like pulling teeth with Bill. Bill.
Yes, I do. Yes, after today's news, yes, I do. Yes, I do, and I think he's caused enough. I think he's caused enough eruption that the continuity will be interrupted.
You know,
and they're in big trouble.
We need to send Bill Tickler.
As an organization.
We need to send Bill the Tickler to like phone call school, so he can ask his question in a speedy fashion. Instead of taking 17 minutes, instead of taking 17 minutes to say virtually nothing. Bill, I want you to practice in front of the mirror at night. Don't turn the lights off though, because this might happen.
Legend has it if you say St. Brown 3 times in the dark in the bathroom, you will immediately lose your league.
Be very careful, but I want you to practice in front of the mirror tonight. I want you to go, okay, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Go, Bill. And I want you to go, yo, Smitty, what's going on, pal? Here's my question. A, B, C, D. What do you think? Let's see if next time you call in, you're like this. Let's just try it. Practice for me. Bill, hang tight. Bill, do not go anywhere. You know I love you, pal. I'm just messing with you.
I guess not going to happen.
Kind of.
Not going to happen.
All right, hang tight. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so Bill the Tickler, you heard it from Bill. Bill's Aiyuk staying in San Francisco. Rock Out. Is Aiyuk staying in San Francisco?
At this point, yeah.
Travis, is Aiyuk staying in San Francisco?
Only if he takes like 26 or 27 million. Otherwise, I think he's going to kick and scream.
What do you think happens, though? What are you predicting happens, though?
He'll go to the Steelers.
Okay, wow. Ron, what do you think happens, and how do you like Travis's answer?
To answer in a short, no, I don't think he goes to the 49ers.
Where do you think he ends up a Steeler?
I don't know where he ends up. I'm hoping the Steelers, but it could be another team. Who knows? But I don't think it's 49ers. I don't think they can deal with it.
You know why I think it's the Niners? Because
I'm in line with Ron on that.
I can picture it.
It's gonna be the Niners.
Guys, think about it. Everybody, close their eyes right now. Especially Bill the Tickler. Just close your eyes. Listen to this. Ready?
Oh my God!
Okay,
close my eyes.
Here it is. Unless you're driving. Nobody do it while you're driving. Unless you're in a Waymo. Okay, so you're sitting there. You're sitting there, right? And you're watching Niner fans react to the Aiyuk situation. They're screaming and yelling and saying how amazing Aiyuk is. He's back. They love him. He's the best ever. It's like he never went. He's amazing. He's going to have a killer year. Everybody wishes they had him. We knew he wasn't going anywhere. This is John Lynch's plan the entire time to get him at a little bit of a discount and bring him in. I mean, I can see it right now. It's written. This script is written. I can't envision anything else. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, if something wild happens and it goes in a different direction, I do think it's the Cleveland Browns because that deal was agreed upon. And I don't know that the Steeler deal, if let's say Khan does end up giving more and John Lynch, wants to end up going this way, then I think it's possible. But I think because the Browns deal is reportedly agreed upon, it does feel like a playoff team. Like it is a playoff team. It does feel to Aiyuk as the best potential landing spot. to him because this is a playoff team that he thinks think about it. These players probably think Deshaun Watson's great. You ask an average player, hey, how good's Deshaun Watson? Oh, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. These players don't know. These players have no clue. And Deshaun Watson is probably thought of so much higher by every player in the National Football League. And they also look at him like, hey, he's endured a lot. I want to support him and back him. I just have a feeling that that's where Aiyuk's going to bend if push comes to shove and he has to go somewhere because the Niners pull the offer. But I do picture the Niners fans celebrating about how amazing Aiyuk is and they get back on the Aiyuk train. I can't see anything else. It's all I can envision. I could see it right now. I'm going to go on the live stream on Instagram with Raj, and they're going to be celebrating Aiyuk's name. He's the best ever. We never doubted it at all. He's so nice. We like him. We love him. Aiyuk, he's fine. He's back. All that matters is he's back. And everyone's going to move on like nothing happened. I can see it right now. Anybody? Bueller?
Yeah. No, I could see that playing out. I think I agree with Ron how they say, how like the 49ers might just be done with them. And what I was going to say before on the whole situation is that, like you said, the Niners botched it right from the beginning. But then Aiyuk has seemed to just kick the can in so many directions. First it was money he wanted, then he didn't want the money. He wants to play for this team or that team. I think he fooled himself into thinking the Washington was going to be an easy deal to get made. Like, seems like him and JD5 dreamed it up so many times and alluded to it so many times. It was like they thought that was going to be an easy deal maybe. And he just way overestimated his market. I think he thought more than one team would be willing to pay, 32 million. I think he would have had 2 or 3 even maybe. And he's botched it on this end too, so.
Here's where I'm at. Aiyuk has already said no to $33 million. He's already said no to that. Right. So it's not just about money. He may have thought it was at one point. Right. And the Niners are asking or giving 28.5 is what our understanding is. So at this point, if you wanted me to psychoanalyze this, Aiyuk is already telling you he's willing to go with less money to be happy where he is. And all he's trying to do is use the leverage of the other offers to get as much as he can. And when he thinks he can't squeeze the Niners anymore, he's going to accept their best offer. I think that's 100% what's going to happen because he's already told you it's not about money. He may have thought it was, but it's not anymore. So he's 100%, I think, going to take their final offer once push comes to shove. And I believe Kyle and John will look him in the eye and say, we're not going to offer this. This extends until tomorrow afternoon. And not because we don't love you, pal, whatever, but we need to move on with what we're doing and planning. We got Trent. We got things we got to allocate. And we won't have this money available to you anymore. So you either sign it by the afternoon. This is our final offer. Or you're playing on your 5th-year option, and we are not even negotiating a trade. Aiyuk's going to crawl to the table and sign that as fast as he can. I can almost guarantee you this is what's going to happen. Because the Niners have control at this point. Right. The Niners have control at this point because Aiyuk had a lot of control, but Aiyuk has already crapped the bed on the alternative routes, and now the Niners don't have to worry about those routes. And it's, is there an open door to the Steelers? Yeah, it always comes back to what I said. If somebody offers an offer that the Niners can't refuse, then I think a deal will happen. But the problem with Khan and the Steelers situation is Khan is as good of a trader, Ron would say better, but let's just say it's even, as John Lynch and the Niners. So I don't think Khan offers an offer that the Niners can't refuse. Therefore, I don't think a deal happens with the Steelers. I think that Aiyuk crawls back to the table as fast as he can and puts pen to paper. The moment John and Kyle say we're done, we have to worry about Trent Williams. We are not trading you. That's done. We gave you the opportunities. You shot down 2 of the offers that we wasted our time and resources accepting. So you either accept this or you're playing on your 5th-year option. That's it. We'll never discuss this again. And he's going to run to the table and sign it. Mark my words. That's going to be what happens. Hey, maybe we don't hear about the crawling part, but I'm almost guaranteeing you this man signs a deal really soon. That's the way I see it anyway. Let me clear the phone line off. Let me go over to Bill the Tickler. Bill the Tickler, final thoughts, my guy. I appreciate you, by the way.
Appreciate you as well, Smitty. Thank you. My final thoughts as far as football, the Niners have painted themselves in the corner that they will be the third best if they're lucky. They'll be fighting out third place with the Cowboys. Eagles and Lions, first place football. As far as fantasy, I can't touch Niners and Cowboys right now. I'm careful. If things look clear when I finally draft, I'll make that decision, but not going to happen.
Devo to the moon. I'm telling you right now, Bill. All right, Bill, appreciate you.
Can I say one more thing, Smitty? One more thing.
If you're fast, yes.
Chase Brown.
Chase Brown.
Chase Brown.
All right, Ron Navy, final thoughts. Appreciate it.
I got to run through.
All right, Travis, we'll see you later.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because we get all these news reports from weeks and weeks and all these news reports. Everybody wants to jump on and believe every single report out there. Everybody wants to, and it's the same thing now as it was last week with all the news reports. Now Aiyuk's going to stay. News report this, news report that, and until actually there's ink to paper, why would anybody believe anything out there, whether he's going to stay with the 49ers, whether he's going to go to Cleveland, whether he's going to go to the Steelers? It's like watching fake news. It's like a political arena. It's like everything's fake.
Well,
so,
Ron,
yeah,
I will give you this. I will give you this. I'll say, Ron isn't wrong in that. Let me put this graphic on screen here at the top. Ron isn't wrong in that, like, here's what Aiyuk is saying. So when Tom Pelissero said that the 49ers have made renewed efforts in recent days of striking a long-term deal, this is what we led the show with, that Brandon Aiyuk commented on this right here, saying, Brad, Niners be in the media every day, LOL. It's two options out there. Pick one and stop dropping reports. Simple. And I, like I said, I reached out to Raj and C-Mac and Vlad, and I said, can you guys, translate this for me? Because I have no idea what Aiyuk is saying. But essentially, what he's saying is that this fake news, people are just reporting anything they hear. So to what Ron's point is, everything that's being said today about the Niners renewing everything, apparently, and I can't decipher this. I'm going off other people's interpretations. We're asking AI to translate this because we don't know what it means. According to those people, that Aiyuk is saying that everyone's believing everything they hear still. So Ron, Aiyuk agrees with you, but I still think that I don't know. I'm pretty confident. I'm very confident. Let me just say that. More confident than I've been about anything, that he truly is crawling back to the Niners and trying to get a deal in San Francisco. That's where he wants to be if he can't be in Washington. Now, I do think Adam Peters, I trust Adam Peters. And if Adam Peters says, I don't want this drama, or I like what we have and we need to spend $30+ million a year on the offensive line moving forward, not on a wide receiver when we got Dotson, McLaurin, Ben Sinnott, Luke McCaffrey. We got a nice little squad that's underrated. I trust Adam Peters. And I also kind of feel like maybe Aiyuk feels differently to me now than he did before. I kind of feel like he is very diva-like. Like there's a lot here that I'm not as intrigued by from going to the Commanders and being JD5's guy perspective, but I don't know. I like Aiyuk a lot. But
talking about how drama he is, but don't you think he's justified? I mean,
early on,
pretty much slapped face with their offer
early on,
and then they didn't come back with a good offer, and so they've been trying to strong arm him. They've been trying to make Aiyuk bend to their will, and Aiyuk's his own individual. He's like, screw you, I'm not bending to your will. You're going to bend to my will. So you can say drama all you want, but the man
Ron,
is standing up.
But Ron, I
don't care.
agree with you, and I agree with you to a point though. But when Aiyuk was presented with, so Aiyuk is right. I want better money. You're not giving me the right money. Let me seek a trade. And they finally said, okay, fine, go. And so since then, we have seen Aiyuk, in my opinion, absolutely go in the other direction and screw up every opportunity he's been presented with. And just because it's not the exact place he wants to go with the exact amount of money, he screwed up the Cleveland deal, he screwed up the New England deal, and he apparently didn't screw up that we know of the Pittsburgh deal, but would be shocked if he was a problem in that too. We'll find out.
The Steelers put an offer on the table to him of 4 years, 125.
Yeah, but Ron, you just got through saying everything's fake news. You got through saying we can't trust any of that. We can trust that source. Why can we trust that source that you're hearing saying that? If we're not going to trust any sources, we can't trust one over the other. We can't sit there and say we know what the Steelers actually did and what he did with that if we can't trust these other sources. It goes both ways. All I'm saying is that Aiyuk was put in a box. The Niners were at fault. They started all of this avalanche of garbage. The Niners could have prevented this, and they screwed up. So Aiyuk said, get me out. Everything I support at that point. Ayuk's right. Aiyuk finally gets to go explore trades. Yes, Aiyuk goes and explores them willingly at these locations, and later on says, don't like it, don't like the place. It's not that the money didn't work. He didn't like the location. He knew what he was going to look at.
Wait 1 second here. Yeah, I mean, okay, New England put an offer on the table. That was confirmed, right?
Correct.
Cleveland put an offer on the table. That was confirmed.
Correct.
Steelers put an offer on the table. That was also confirmed.
I believe
so this whole thing that you're saying have it both ways that's BS, because that offer was actually out there, and that offer was actually confirmed.
Who said I said that this? Wait. Who said you're putting words in my mouth though? Who said that I said that? I'm saying you said that. I'm saying you said you can't believe everything you hear. So then all of a sudden you go, the Steelers did this. I believe the reports, but
for one thing is he didn't want to go play for a rookie quarterback in New England. He didn't want to go play for a has-been quarterback in Cleveland.
I know that.
And we know that he wanted to go to either Washington or the Steelers. So he's standing up for where he wants to go and the type of money that he wants to get. So anywhere above $30 million a year, he's good with. He said he'd sign off on the deal that he was offered to Pittsburgh. Aiyuk said that. But the 49ers don't like it because they're not getting enough back in return. That's how they feel. That's where that impasse comes with them.
I don't disagree with much of that. I'm just saying Aiyuk is wanting his cake and eat it too to some degree. And now Aiyuk
49ers basically bitch slapped him and disrespected him with their low ball offer, and didn't even come back with an offer like they did Bosa and they did Kittle and they did.
Just because you want to get paid $30 million a year, though, Ron, doesn't mean you get it. Just because you want it. Like, I'll be honest with you. I don't think he deserves $32, $31, $30 million a year.
And they can't afford him, and they can't. Purdy's got to get paid next year. We already know that's a fact. Purdy gets paid next year, no matter what. So they can't afford Aiyuk. They got to get rid of him. I mean, he's already the.
But Ron, at this point, I don't think he's worth $30 million a year.
It's not about the fans. It's about the players in that locker room.
Okay.
And the players in the locker room have become disgusted with this whole situation. And like I said before, all the questions are going to be, what's going on with Brandon? Oh, this guy had a great day, got a great preseason game. That's going to be all slipped under the rug, and the players hate that shit when it's all about one person constantly, day after day after day after day.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. I don't know what all I'm saying is again, I agree. I believe all the money reports are true. So that's what I was saying. You were saying that how can you? Well, I'm the one saying I believe the Cleveland deal was offered, and I believe those numbers and that report. I believe, and I feel I have some word on it that it was all true. So the Cleveland deal. The Cleveland deal was done. The New England deal was technically done. These were places that he was interested in trying to figure out if he wanted to go there, and he didn't want those deals, and those deals would give him the money he wants. You can't have the money you want and the most ideal location you want. That's not always how it works. The teams that need you more, that maybe aren't in the best position to win right now, are the ones that are going to overpay for you. And the Niners don't need Aiyuk. And so Aiyuk is going back, crawling back, and I get it. I understand why he might do that. I understand why he might change his mind, but I don't agree, and I'm a very, very much against the Niners a lot of the time in the way they operate. They could have got this done at the very beginning. This is on the Niners. Yeah. But that doesn't change my objectivity that Aiyuk does not deserve $30 million a year. So I'm just telling you, if you want to get paid north of 30, you got to go to New England. You want to get paid north of 30, you got to go to Cleveland. You want to get paid north of 30, you might have to go play where it's not the most ideal to you or your number one choice. And if you want to go back to San Francisco, then you have to accept that the team that told you to go find your new place if you want is not going to meet you at $30 million a year. Maybe they fold. You never know, but I think they're offering 28.5 to 29, and if he wants to play and handpick his place in terms of let's return back to San Francisco, he's got to man up and say, I can't make exactly the amount I want, but if I go somewhere where no one has wide receivers, I will get that. It's very simple to me, and I think Aiyuk is making this a little bit more dramatic than it needs to be. Doesn't mean the Niners didn't cause it. And it doesn't mean that I get where you're standing from. You're saying I like that it's happening to the Niners is what you're saying, Ron. And you're a Steeler fan. I don't blame you for having that perspective. But I just think that at the end of the day, he's got to understand the Niners aren't paying him $32 million a year. And he's not deserving of it. He could become deserving of it, but he hasn't proven he's worth getting paid by like St. Brown or even Jalen Waddle. Like, it's just wild that Aiyuk is dictating anything, to be honest. All right.
Well, we just got done talking about for over a week how Aiyuk has leverage, right? And now you're saying he has no leverage. He still has the same leverage. What I'm saying about the fake news and all this is we don't know what's going on behind the scenes in San Francisco. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes in the Steelers or any other organization. So what I'm saying is, as far as where Aiyuk's landing spot's gonna go, it's all fake news until actually we hear a report Aiyuk signed something to paper somewhere.
All right, Ron. I'm gonna jump because I've been live for about 3 hours. Appreciate you.
Well, I know.
Hopefully, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we have a resolution soon, so we know what's up. And Ron Navy, you what?
Tomorrow it's all changing. We're gonna
Yeah,
be
it definitely
about,
could.
Oh, new development. Now Aiyuk doesn't want to do that, and the 49ers don't. The narrative's gonna change again tomorrow. Watch.
Yeah, and I would say this. I think, and you know me, I don't disagree with what anybody says, but I agree with what Travis just said. Aiyuk lit his leverage on fire. I think he 100% did. 100%. Best way to describe it.
I don't think.
All right, Ron, appreciate you. Later.
All right, later.
All right, Justin Rush says, Aiyuk will be a 49er this year, but when he's like 32 and a free agent, a lot of teams won't trust him. Very, very accurate way of I think, depicting that situation. I get it. Who cares about my Pats and who cares about lame Cleveland? Aiyuk is pissing in faces of teams that have nothing to do with the 49ers, though. Ron says, Travis, or says Justin. Superfish says Chase Brown. Appreciate you, Superfish. Silver Rapture asked if Rockout's most recent freestyle and River Guys, and I did play the most recent freestyle. I'm going to end it on the River Guys and Marvin Harrison Jr. for Silver, and thank you, Superfish. Justin says, if you do an AM show, I see it on my YouTube, I'll drop a $20 holler. We love you and need you. Hardest working man in the industry. I don't know if I'm going to do a draft show, but can we say this? Justin, you drop a $20 holler right now, I will come back tonight no matter what. Guaranteed. But I don't know that it'll be a draft show. It might be a 15, 20-minute conversation about a player news or something like that. And I'll drop a private YouTube or a private link to a draft. But it won't be a draft show, and it might be a short, 30-minute show, 15-minute. And I say that usually shows go later. But we'll talk about something. Maybe a Moon Man, maybe a Mars Man, maybe a Panic Chamber episode, something short. Maybe a On the Streets of Phoenix poll show that's like 40 minutes or 35 minutes. So Justin, there you go. If no pressure, but I'm just saying you want my answer. I guess that's what I would say. If you do an AM show, thank you, appreciate you, Justin. And you don't have to. You can wait and see if it happens. But I will come back. I don't know that I was, but I will if that happens. Silver, appreciate you. He says he wants the River guys on the way out the door. I can drop that for sure. Justin, thank you. I get it. Who cares about I got that one. I got that one. I got that one. I think I got all the super chats out of the way. Gifted memberships. We got 5 gifted memberships tonight coming from Deckard. Deckard, are you still here? I'm sorry I didn't see this earlier. Deckard dropping 2 5-wad gifted memberships. Human Ziggy dropping a gifted membership. D-Town dropping a 5 gifted membership. Human Ziggy dropping a 5 gifted membership. And then 10 gifted memberships. No, we don't have any of those. Let me see if I can find any others that might have dropped. I don't see any. Thank you all for the gifted memberships. And guys, thank Justin. Thank Justin and Ethan, who just guaranteed you a night show. Again, may not be a draft show, but Justin and Ethan just guaranteed with a $20 haulers a night show tonight. That might be a new thing. Honestly, that might be a new thing.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Ron Navy says, you boys aren't going to show me up with $20 haulers. I don't think so. Ron says, later chat, this Aiyuk situation is comical. It really is. And Ron Navy, thank you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate you, Ron. Appreciate you, Deckard, with the gifted memberships. Appreciate you, Justin, with the $20 hauler guaranteed show. We might do that. Because here's the problem and why that might be necessary is Ron with 50 gifted members. He does this when I'm leaving. He knows I can't leave. And the briefcase. Son of a...
Give me $50 holler. Got that by the brother, Smitty. Give me $50. Oh, yeah.
Ron Navy dropping 50 gifted membership. If you don't get a gifted membership tonight, I don't know how to help you. Okay. Thank you, Ron, for dropping a 50 gifted membership. Thank you, Human Ziggy, D-Town, Decker with the double Decker with the double Deckard, and then Ron dropping the $20 hauler with the 50 gifted memberships. Absolute total Ron-esque fashion. The reason why we might be like, hey, how many $20 haulers guarantee a night show is because as we get into the season, this 8 p.m. show is going 3, sometimes 4 hours long, and it's 8:11 p.m. right now in my time. It is 50 minutes until midnight. So to do a midnight show when we're 50 minutes away, it becomes hard. When we're going 3 and 4 hours. So maybe at the end of the show, you guys determine if there's a guaranteed show. I don't know. You know, maybe we say two $20 haulers if we go guaranteed tonight, no matter what. I don't know. It's a pretty good idea, and it's you know, you become a hero too, because Justin, Ron Navy, and Ethan are the heroes of the night. They just guaranteed a live stream tonight. All right, I owe Silver some videos, so while these play out and everybody sees their gifted membership come through, let me go ahead and play what Silver wanted me to play.
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
Hi. What would you like?
Footballs, please. Lots of footballs, please.
Coming up.
He's Marvin, he's 11 feet tall, and he loves to consume the football. He's Kyler, he's 4 feet tall, but Star and Marvin will answer the call. They're Kyler and Marvin.
Yeah, Travis says every $20 guaranteed 20 minutes with a cap of like 3 hours or something. We might have to look into something like that. Bruce, from North Carolina, you're live.
Thank you. Appreciate the show.
Ethan.
Been wanting to call in for a long time. Anyways, quick question, best ball. 17th round, I got Hall, Achan, and Kyron as my 3 running backs. I've cuffed Williams. I cuffed Mostert to Achan. I'm down. I want to have 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends for depth. I've got 2 tight ends. I'm taking a quarterback in the last round, definitely, regardless. But the 17th round, I had to pick between Kate Otten, my 3rd tight end, and taking my quarterback last, or Cuff and Hall. I didn't know what to do, and I cuffed Hall. You know, you in best ball, can you run with 2 tight ends, or, I mean, did I do anything wrong, or
So
what would you have done?
Yeah, this is a case-by-case type of situation. I'm very, very loving the idea of cuffing Breece Hall, you know, and especially with all of the Miami guys having the same bye week, and you know you're gonna you're gonna have a problem with having enough bodies anyway. So now you at least have Hall and Breece Hall. I'm sorry, you have Breece Hall and Braylon Allen for that Miami Dolphin bye week game. But there's no real answer to this because you cuff your tight ends, or you grab a 3rd tight end. What is that tight end's ability of even helping you? Kate Otten's not bad though, so I would say that's where it was like an even choice. If we're talking about a tight end, you don't even know who's going to be Theo Johnson, whatever, Parkinson. You don't know what they're even going to do. So I'm not as worried about having to grab just a body and have a 3rd tight end. But Otten's pretty solid, so that would have been a nice 3rd option. I think, who are your 2 starting tight ends?
Njoku and Hunter Henry.
I mean, it's not bad. And it's Best Ball Mania?
Yes.
If it was weekly winners, I wouldn't care at all because you're probably gonna have majority of the weeks where you have a tight end, so you'll be fine. Best Ball Mania, like if both get hurt or something, like then something could happen, you know. But I don't know. I think it goes either way. You know, it could go either way.
I mean, you were in my head though the whole time. It was like, you know, cuff Hall, because if he does go down, and
Allen's
that's your 1st round pick.
Allen's a top 12 running back if Breece Hall goes down, easy. So yeah, no, I like the move. The only thing I would say is if you're going to do that, and in retrospect, you didn't know you were going to do that at the end of the draft. If you have a safer tight end room, Njoku's kind of an injury-prone guy. Hunter Henry's kind of an injury-prone guy, so you did put yourself in a little bit of a pickle, but at the same time, you'd be kicking yourself if you didn't have the Breece Hall, Braylon Allen production. So I'm fine with it.
You wouldn't be able to sleep at night, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I think, the tight end position, sometimes it's 2 and 3 points anyway. So much better capability of, so I'm okay with that. A lot of people roll with 2 tight ends. I traditionally like 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends, but there are times where when I'm doing a stack that requires 3 of the Miami Dolphin running backs, and I draft all 3, then I am in a position where I need more RBs probably, and I have to cut somewhere. And I try and draft a safer tight end room than Njoku and Henry, though. But I do go 2 tight ends sometimes in those situations. So not a big deal, bro. I think you did fine.
Well, I appreciate that, and thanks for answering my call.
Attaboy, Bruce. Appreciate you. Later.
All right. Thanks.
There's someone else calling in. I couldn't add you when you were dialing in. If you want to call back in real quickly before we get out of here. We're waiting for Ron Navy's gifted memberships to be handed out before we can actually leave the live stream. That's Ron's like he likes to imprison your boy inside this box in the studio here whenever he can, especially if he calls in and we're having a little bit of a bickering session. He's like, I'm going to drop 50 gifted memberships and make Smitty sit there until 8:30 at night. And all the lights will be off in the house. He doesn't care. Ron will do it. He will do it. And it gives all of you memberships, which, that's amazing. So everybody drop a Ron Navy emoji. Ron's got his own emoji, by the way. It's the anchor emoji. Please drop a Ron Navy emoji. Appreciate all of you. Celebratory messages. I think we probably have a few of them. Thor Bear says, keep one. Thor, I don't know if you... I think everybody needs to come to this understanding that I'll get through the celebratory messages at the very end of every show. That's just the only way you're going to know where to find it. So if you drop a celebratory message, know that I'll answer it at the end. Keep one off waivers, Dell or Warren. Dell. Dell by a lot. I love Warren, but you can draft Warren back pretty easily. Dell, you will not be able to, especially if people watch this show. Nico over Nico. Says Nico. Thank you, Nico. Appreciate you. Philly, 2 QBs, Dynasty, trade Baker and Chubb for Geno and Jacobs. I answered that one earlier, and I do like that. And that's to celebrate Silver's inspiration. And inspiration, says Human Ziggy. Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. All right. On that note, we are out of here. Thank you, Ron Navy, for the 50 gifted memberships. I'll see you all tonight. Guaranteed show tonight because of the $20 haulers dropped at the end of the show. I think maybe 3 of them anytime almost guarantees that we do a night show. I think that's the way we're going to roll moving forward. Justin dropped one, Ron dropped one, and Ethan dropped one. We get $20, 20 times 3 out the door. I almost feel like that's a guaranteed night show. Even if we go long like this, we've been live for 3 hours, so we're so close to midnight. It might be more like midnight. It might be more like 12:31. Eastern, though, that I can get live, but I'll be back, I promise. All right, see you all later. Appreciate you.